What's up and welcome back to the Kind of Funny Gamescast live for Wednesday, July 31st, 2024. Of course, I am your host, Tim Geddes. Today, I am joined by the new face of video games, Blessing Adeoye Jr.
13-8.
13-8.
That was the score this week in Kickball. We're coming back. We lost.
Wow. You lost, but hey,
you got points on the board.
We're the 8, but we got more points on the board.
It sounded like an actual game this time around.
Yes.
Yeah, because last time it was what, 23?
Don't worry.
Of the 8, how many were from the lock, Roger Picorni?
None. I don't think so. But I'm team captain. Brought the energy. He brought the energy. We had an insane amount of energy. The other team are going to be thinking about this game for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
They were not ready for the amount of energy. We're screaming, we're yelling, we're clapping for everybody. It doesn't matter if they're out. We're like, fuck yeah, you got this. Woo! We're doing the high fives every time. Oh my God. We're in it.
There are a bunch of corpses out there, Tim.
Yeah.
And they won 20-13. But they're corpses.
Bless, what about you?
How many home runs did I get?
Yeah.
Let's just say I killed it. You know what I mean? You
Okay.
gotta
leave
but
it
like
at that.
the thing is, we got to figure out the turn order because like I had my last kick that I did. Oh man, knocked it out the park. All right, made perfect contact with it. The problem is the bases weren't loaded. There was only one. It was only Katie on the first base.
So it's really your team let you down on that one.
Exactly.
I love that.
I'm not trying to say that the team's holding me back. All I'm saying is that I'm bringing the team
That's
forward.
why
Bunch
typically
of limp noodle legs out there. They can't kick it.
Exactly. That's what I'm
Typically
saying.
in baseball, Bless, I know you haven't played sports before,
you
but
don't have
typically in baseball, at the top of a lineup, right, you know, first one, you want to have somebody who's like, it's solid enough to get on base, and then your 2 and 3 order. Again, solid enough, maybe not as good as like your opener, and then your fourth person going out.
Clean up, baby.
Your cleanup.
See, now we were just trying to get to the point where we had a batting order, right? Last game, we were just kind of like huddled around, being like, I don't know who wants to go next. What are we doing? Like now, the fact that we have a line, that's a big deal. And guess what? All the other teams that we're going against, they never have lines. They never have batting orders. They're also doing they're just kind of huddled around, being like, I don't know who goes next. I don't know. So we're together. We have this
league
together.
sounds
And they won
insane.
20-3.
Yeah, they won 20-3. I mean, it's okay. I mean,
When you're all
Mark McGuire,
When you're all Sammy Sosa.
but guess what, everybody?
When the Chicago Cubs roll up to play a little league team, they're not worried about the line. Who wants to go swing? Go for it.
This half of the league is also Flip Cup, and we dominated Flip Cup. Okay,
Oh, yeah,
we
killed it
dominated
in
Flip Cup. That's
Oh
one
my
point.
God, I had
That's
the
1 point.
smoothest flip cup ever.
Oh, we fucking
right?
short,
Got there. They're like, use your opposite hand. Your opposite of your dominant hand. I like chug that thing, put the cup down, boom,
Sick.
first try.
Dang, it's
Gamer. That's a
Gosh,
gamer.
dude,
right
I'm
there.
different.
Left hand blessed.
different.
You know, God, you love to see it.
blessed.
My
The
thing is,
stranger.
The stranger is freaking awesome, dude. What a new nickname.
No.
My favorite thing about this.
There's a connotation to that. We don't know.
My favorite thing about this is you not getting hurt, Roger. Every single kickball game that you do, and you come in and you don't have a freaking cast on.
Yeah,
it's a win for me.
No, because if Lance got hurt last time, it's my turn, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm waiting for it.
I will say.
So there was a slight injury last night. Alyssa got like barreled over by some big guy who did not apologize.
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it got me
She's
heated.
very upset about
I came
that.
home drunk last night. She told me that story. I was like, God fucking damn it! I want to fight this guy.
I would have kicked him.
We're
in
gonna
the
play
balls.
that. We're gonna play that team. He's on a different team.
Hey, but real quick, shout out to that. Barrett, I came home drunk last night. Oh, he was at the Flip Cup. No, you been drunk somewhere else.
I was just somewhere else in the city.
The story about
I was somewhere else.
Of course, we also have the big daddy himself, Greg Miller.
Hello, Tim.
And rounding out the group today, the Nitro Rifle, Andy Cortez.
Where's the Soldier Boy console gonna land?
Why is it not here, Roger?
Soldier
I'm
That's
so
so
surprised that you don't
I
own
have
the
been
Soulja
pitching
Boy
for
console.
years a Blessing Show episode where we track down Soldier Boy and we try to figure out this console.
He was like, we got to make the Soldier Game episode, and I'm like, no, we don't.
No, I have
do.
the pitch,
That
and
would
I'm
be
like,
awesome.
I truly believe that if we just kind of debate him a little bit, we could be like, oh, let's talk about your music. And then we just kind of have a hard
Bait him. If we bait him.
We debate him a little bit. I think we can get Soldier Boy easy on this podcast.
I mean, I do not disagree. I think
I think
Let's
could be a
talk
great
about his
episode.
games though too. I don't think it needs to be like a
I don't think
bait
we
and
need to
switch.
be-
I don't
I
want to ask Soldier Boy about Crank That. Like, you know, I'd be down to stick to the games, but also I'm
I'd be
like,
down to ask about Crank That. I can do it for you. I can play that. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, man, everybody. This is the Kind of Funny Gamescast where we get together every single weekday live right here on YouTube and Twitch to talk about the latest in reviews, previews, or just fun discussions. And these are some of my favorite episodes where we get together and just have good old-fashioned debates. A couple weeks ago, maybe last week even, time is a flat circle, we debated and ranked consoles. by looks and looks alone. We had rules that we tried to stick to. We had a tier list we went through. Bless, you missed this episode.
Yeah.
It got crazy.
It got bad.
We sat down here before Bear rolled the intro and did pre-production for this episode, which shocked me. And I'm like, what happened last time that we needed pre-production this time?
I mean, so here's the thing. Clear your mind, and everybody, let's not try to frame. Let's not try to, go crazy. Bear, is there any way that... No, there's probably not. A way to show blessing like the previous ones?
I can pull up the episode.
Oh,
right?
yeah, I reset it.
Totally
But
cool.
Roger,
bring
you
up the
made
episode.
one, right? Or you made some sort of graphic?
No, I can pull up the last episode, though.
You
I
just
can
bring
pull
up the end of the episode. We'll
yeah,
screen
yeah,
cap.
yeah.
That's a good call. That's a good call. But before we even do that, I have one question alone to ask you. Visually,
Right down to
looks
Russian.
alone,
Looks alone.
Sega Genesis.
Like, am I putting it in a tier?
Just
Yeah.
give me your thoughts.
I
No,
mean,
put it at tier.
it's like far from my favorite looking console. It's fine, I guess. I don't think it looks bad by any means. It's like strong. I put Sega Genesis as strongly okay looking.
So on like S to F.
C,
Wow.
probably C tier.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Sounds about right, Bless.
Interesting.
What was the?
It's a man of taste right there.
Interesting.
Was somebody like it looked ugly, or were people saying about the Genesis?
Everybody put it in A rank.
Really?
Gorgeous.
Psycho.
Really?
It's a good one. It's a good one.
The chat
The Sega
was going
Genesis? If you
crazy
look
at-
over
was
it.
fine with it.
They were going.
Chat
They
was fine
were.
with it.
Chat was going crazy with it.
In
The
every
same way
way.
they were going crazy when you all said PS5
Like,
was
we're
A
talking
rank
about
as well.
the console, not the controller. Just the console.
No, not the
just the
controller.
look of the
What is
console.
special about the way the Sega Genesis
Nothing special.
looks?
It's just a
Big
really
circle on it.
solid
Just looks
console.
dumb.
Cool vents.
Yeah.
You didn't see the Master System beforehand. That's
also
really
true.
what did it.
Listen, they have outraised numbers that have 16-bit on it. It looks stupid as shit.
Yeah.
Bear, can we pull up an
sick.
image of the Sega?
I will say
I
2600
forgot the
belongs in
console.
S tier.
See, bless. Thank you.
Yeah, 2600
Thank
is a fantastic looking console.
you. Fuck yeah.
Yes.
What do you think is the greatest looking console of all time?
Ooh.
You can think about it too. You don't need to answer.
Yeah,
right
I might
now.
need time to think about that. I've not thought a lot
But by
about
the end of
that.
this episode, you need to answer.
I got you.
Plenty of time.
God, that S tier looks so damn good up there, though. I'll tell you what.
It really does.
know.
But like I was saying, we do a whole bunch of live talk shows. We already did Kind of Funny Games Daily, where Andy and I talked all about the Bungie layoffs. And then after this, we have Greg Miller playing some Fallout London, and I'm sure it's going to run perfectly. And
After
if you
3
are,
hours of troubleshooting, we're there.
if you're a Kind of Funny member, you get the Greg Way, which today is
Recorded. I need to upload it. It was, should we leave Twitch? Should Kind of Funny leave Twitch?
oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I want to listen to that.
Let me just say, I've already started deleting all of our information off of Twitch.
Oh.
We're leaving Twitch too.
He's starting with the bio. Every time he removes one piece of information.
I love this company so much because I know
I scared him for a second.
I know more than anybody, like probably about the details about most things and the amount of conversations that happened today that I walk into and people are talking. I'm like, oh, something big happened.
Yeah, it's
and I
crazy,
don't know
ain't
what it is, and I am scared. Oh, whatever. Let's have some fun here.
I've begun deleting. It's just dumbfounded. Yeah, every day I take a new character off the bio.
Thank you for our Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs and Delaney Twining, for allowing all of this shit. Whatever the fuck this is to happen. Today we're brought to you by Shady Rays Hymns and Portillo merch, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's start with the topic of the show. Raj, what's going on?
I look over at Blessing and he's sitting up like a student about to take a test, and it's just a blank document.
It's not blank.
It's a blank document and it just has 2 lines. One line, Atari 2600. One line, the next line, Nintendo Wii. That's it.
He's thinking.
Ask me a question. I'm gonna find the answer to the question. I'm just
He's
typing
working
down.
through it, man.
The name of the doc is Good Looking Consoles.
Oh, man. Bless. Strap in, because this is the energy that we are bringing to today's show. We will be ranking handhelds by looks. The rules are simple. Rule number 1, based solely on looks and physical design. We're not talking about software, okay? We're not talking about the game library that these consoles have had.
And we're not talking about the feeling of these buttons or anything like that.
Whoa.
That's what I feel like.
I don't know
It's
about
based
that.
on looks. That's the title of the episode. It's looks. We can pick. I brought these to look at it.
I mean,
and
what
you
if-
can pick it up to look at it, but you can't touch the buttons.
That looks uncomfortable to hold.
I mean,
The
we don't know.
doorstop.
We can never
We
know.
don't know.
We can only look at it.
I'm just
We
saying.
can only look at it.
This is a tough one because I feel like for handheld, the feel is part of the look.
I disagree. I disagree. I agree. I disagree.
I'm with Greg and Tim on that one.
That's not a look. Look his eyes.
Yeah.
Look his eyes.
With your eyes.
But look, hold on. Rule number 1, Raj.
Fireflies.
Rule number 1, Raj.
Yes.
Based solely on looks / physical design.
Yes.
I think physical design implies the feel.
No, that's not what. When I wrote that, that's not what. That was not my interpretation. That was not my interpretation.
You know, a lot of the founding fathers wrote things that we've interpreted in
Second
very many
Amendment.
different
When
ways.
you're an artist,
so
you put it out there.
GIF, all that shit.
Hey, Raj, tough titty, all right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's already great, everybody. Rule number 2. Rule number 2 here. This is different than how we did the consoles because handhelds function differently and are released differently. All colorways for each design will be kept in the conversation. We can make our arguments if we want to fight for, oh man, but that color looked great. But other people can be like, yeah, but this color looked horrible. We can bring that in, but we're going to be doing it by designs, and we will be doing the different iterations of the handhelds, like the Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy SP, all of that stuff. We're going to be doing it. All the different DSs. How many DSs were there, Andy? Not 3DS, just normal DS. The answer was 3.
3. Damn.
The answer was 3. But we'll be getting into each and every one of these. Let's start it off. Barrett Courtney.
Y'all ready for this?
You did that and knocked the Vita.
We got to start where it all began. The Nintendo Game & Watch. Super OG. We got some visceral sound from Bless. I want to start with Bless on what you think about the Game & Watch.
I mean, I think for the time, neat, cool. Obviously, like it's one of the ones that started it all. But I think you look back and it does look like a toy, right? Like you look at the buttons and it's like, what are we doing? Left, right, game A, game B, time. How big do we don't have Game & Watch? We don't have here, right?
Here's the thing.
It's small.
You think
right?
I have a Game & Watch?
Maybe. I don't know.
Actually, might. I might.
They re-released them. We'll get to that one later, which I think was roughly the same size, and they're small.
They're very small and they're very, very thin.
How small
like this
are they?
entire thing, I mean, it's like my little wallet there. You know what I mean?
No way. It's
Maybe a
that
little
small?
bigger, but I
Definitely
mean,
bigger,
it's
yeah.
thin. Though.
Yeah.
It's this thin is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like this thing, very impressive, the Game & Watch. Not much function, I'll tell you that. But like, you know, you think back
Send a
to the
text
Tiger
message.
Electronics handhelds. Those things were kind of chunky and big with little tiny screens. I'm impressed that the Game & Watch had a lot more functionality screen-wise with the design going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough one because it's so old. I'm leaning towards C. I think the design is just outdated. I look at that and I don't like. I'm not attracted to it. I'm not like, ooh, this is sleek. Oh, this is a thing that I'd like to spend time with. Right?
Bear, throw that little bitch back up on screen. CA.
I like it.
Not offensive, especially for the time period. I would go B.
See,
I think it's a very simple, elegant device.
I'm with you. I think B for this because of the versatility of it. If we could maybe get some other Game & Watch pictures too. The thing that's cool about this is every game had different colors. So it's like you're pulling up.
Bear, could I get a 3-year-old playing with it?
But like there's a lot of different colorways for this thing that were associated with the different games. That's cool. The design language worked well enough that across different games they can each have their own vibe to it. I appreciate that, especially this early on, because we're talking about it's literally 1980 that this thing was out there.
Yeah, I think visually this is transcended because there are still so many things that are like the Game & Watch that they sell and they try to mimic, but the OG still stands pretty tall. I would not go, this is an A or anything, but I think a B. I think this is above average.
Solid little beauty.
It's above average.
Yeah. I think so. I mean, we're going to see some
Above-
fucking average looking
It
at
looks
consoles.
above average.
Yeah.
It made
I
the
stand by
average too. How's that work? Don't worry about it.
Wait, what
I'm
you
just
We're having a show, guys. Thanks for the donuts.
I mean, here's the thing, Blessing. I can't touch the buttons, so I don't know. Actually, maybe it might be an S tier. I can't fucking touch the buttons.
I'm just looking at it and I'm like, it doesn't look ugly. And I feel like that's the best thing I can say about it, which is why I'm like, I don't think it's a D tier. D tier is our lowest tier, right? We don't have an F.
There's an F.
Oh, there is.
We
an
should,
F.
yeah, we have an F.
Yeah, I stay by C. If there's an
Yeah,
F,
you know,
I feel like
okay.
C is a strong place for it then.
All right. I already want to start off with a bit of a. We'll have to vote here. We'll have to figure this out. I think I'm changing my response
Oh shit!
from what I thought would have been a low B. I think I'm going to go high C at this point.
Wow.
I'm going high C.
I'm not mad at high C.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at high C.
I'm sticking with B.
Because we're also doing the thing where it's like where it is on the ranking. So you know what I mean? It's like
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like it's like the highest S is like, oh, that's like the top tier, and then like the bottom S is a bottom S, right?
Yeah.
So we're going through that. So I'm down for a high C.
Andy, where you at?
I'm low B, high C. I do really appreciate that its look just sort of transcended all these generations, and we see the DNA there. Yeah. So I would go. I'd be
Join
fine
me
with
on
the high
these.
C.
Ah, you piece of shit.
There we go. So throw it in that C tier, baby.
Does McDonald's still have high C? They took it away and they brought it back.
They took it away?
Yeah, they took it away for a while. It was a big deal.
They have orange. Well, yeah, I guess the
That's
orange juice I
very
get
different.
with breakfast is very different from high C. I'll be so mad. I'm like, give me the 2 sausage burritos and the orange juice, and they hand me a high C. I'm going in there. I'm fighting
I'd
somebody.
be very happy.
I
Next
liked
up,
it in the opposite of like you grew up just thinking high C was orange juice. Your mom poured it for your egg. Dang, that's healthy. Slimer.
we're moving to the Atari Lynx.
Ugh.
The Atari
Oh,
Lynx.
Roger had a visceral reaction.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I need to see the full image, but like that little thumbnail was
He's
not
30
inspiring.
years older than Roger. He acts like he knows it.
I mean, this thing,
Ugly.
Yeah, you love
Look,
this?
No, I lived it. I know the Atari Lynx. I remember this thing.
I'm going to give a shout out to the colorway. I think that the color of the charcoal actual hardware itself, nicely complemented by that mustard yellow. The logo,
What is happening?
cool for the time, but I think overall,
I like that X.
this thing is a kind of an atrocity, mainly because of
Atrocity.
the button placement.
I mean, who would have thought that you
Maybe
could
it
have?
feels good though.
Who would have thought you could have had bezels on a controller? You know, like on around a D-pad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think this would have looked a lot better if it were just matte black with the glossy buttons. Something about this something about this looks like something I'd buy at Dick's Sporting Goods to play golf. Like this, like sort of helps
It's
you.
gonna check your swing.
Yeah.
It's gonna do something weird. Like
It's a
that.
weird
it looks
little
like
device.
A phone. It looks like an old school phone and like an office.
Or,
Yeah.
or it kind of like it'll like do my blood pressure or like measure how big my feet are. I don't know. It's just a very weird looking thing. I don't love a whole lot about it. I would put this in the D tier.
Oh, dude. If this is not an F, I don't know what the fucking F is.
Oh, wait.
Really?
Dude,
Dude,
you'll
really?
Look at those.
No, it's not.
Look at the placement of those buttons.
D.
But that is insane.
D.
Argument for the placement of the
So you're
button.
Can't feel 'em.
You're saying it would feel
It
weird.
might feel great.
I don't care
Not to
about how
mention
they
it's
feel.
A, B, A, B. It's like you're
It's for
not.
multiplayer.
Yeah, you idiot. They're trying to save you money.
Roger wasn't there.
I don't care if I'm not there. I don't like the way this looks. This looks like everything about this has no cohesion. There's no cohesion here. This is awful. I hate looking
You're right.
at
There's
this.
so many different colors. Oh wait, there's only 2 or 3 there. That's cohesion right there.
Yeah,
It has
wow,
a
look at
visual
that.
Yeah.
style.
Look
I'm
at
talking about where everything is. Like, why is why? Look at the D-pad and then the big ass circle around it.
I'm just going to
That
use
sucks.
this argument you're saying right now for all of the awful takes you had in the console one.
Yeah, let's get him.
I was on your side for most of the things.
You know, you pissed me off
get
by
him.
not having a Vita.
This is this is far from an F, but it is not.
Far from an F.
Pardon me,
What
I
are
think
we
far
talking
from
about?
D.
D.
Dude.
Oh yeah, okay, fine.
Part of me leans low
D.
C, but yeah, I think D is probably I'm down.
Am I
I'm down.
thinking
high.
crazy?
Honestly, I
I think
high
it, honestly,
D.
I don't
I'll
think it
go
looks,
high D.
I don't think it looks that bad.
I got a high D right now.
Oh, Jesus.
I shouldn't have bought donuts. I don't know what you do with the donuts.
Yeah, I don't think it looks that. I feel like there are ugly looking handhelds that we'll get to. I don't think the Atari Lynx looks ugly. I think part of that is colorway. I think the colorway is great. I think the circle around the D-pad is whatever. But then the button placement looks weird, but it is for multiplayer, right? So this is a unique
Saving
console.
you money.
Let's get to the Atari.
Wait, so is
D.
that
D.
is that-
D.
D.
Okay.
The Atari Lynx Gen 2.
Gen 2.
I gotta find a better picture. Hold on.
No
Yeah.
problem. Take your time.
It's hard.
I think this is the best
Didn't
one
have
I've
cameras
got.
back then.
No, we didn't.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, we don't have an
that's
F?
That's cool.
That's way cool.
I think that's uglier than life.
Undeniably
1,000% uglier. 1,000% uglier.
This looks like
This
a
might be the F.
knockoff
Man's got
Power
a
Ranger
fucking
show
AI
communicator.
tattoo wants to tell me what's pretty.
What is happening?
This is F.
No,
This
I think this is F2.
this
this
is
is an
F.
improvement.
I think this is just D
What did
tier.
they do to the
I
Lynx
can see a D
X?
argument, but this is low D. But
That feels like something I could actually pick up and play. Like I see that, I'm like, oh, okay,
That looks like
I
the
get
Duke
that.
controller.
this solves none of the problems you had except getting rid of the circle around
No,
the D-pad.
this-
Look at the button
I
placement.
see that, and I'm like, that looks like a handheld console. I look at the other thing, I'm like, I don't know.
That
What?
looks like some kind of Hungry Hippos game you put down and something's going to come out of the little hole.
I don't
Looks
think
like
it's a little
this looks
hole.
like I got it at McDonald's
I don't-
and like a Happy Meal, but it also comes with an FM knob.
And I agree with that. I don't think this is a good design. I don't think this is a way better design. I'm just saying this is better than the last one. I think this is a D. The last one was
Is there
an
a
F
way
for me.
we can see what this looks like from the back?
It's already hard enough just to find this picture.
Because I'm trying to think of the ergonomics of it. Because this does not look comfortable to hold.
No, neither did the last one. The last one looked way worse. I see that, I'm like, oh, I picked that up. I understand how that works, somewhat. I don't understand the fucking 2-button situation. Why is there... I guess you could play with people, right? Yeah. Such a dumb idea.
Like, it's Atari, so I'm sure it was like Pong. That's all
look at that one. Look at how thick he was.
Oh, he was super thick.
Super.
How was the other one?
Look at how thick that guy is.
God, this looks uglier from the back. Like the grooves help the ergonomics conversation a bit, but like
the grooves make it look like one of those bottom of the ocean floor dwelling creatures that uses its like tentacles to kind of move across the ground. I don't think it's as bad as Roger thinks it is. I don't think it's much better than what we just saw. I would just put a D tier, and I don't care where it goes.
I think this is better than the last one. I think we got to put this above the last.
No, we don't.
F tier.
Yeah,
I agree with F tier.
I would go D, but I'll go F just because I feel
just
like
to get Roger, man.
No, just like it's close. It's either high F or
you
low D.
You look at that, and you're like that. I think it's high F tier looks like more in line with the modern game consoles than the thing in
No, you're crazy.
Honestly,
that doesn't look more. That looks like the Xbox period, the original Xbox.
Which is more in line with modern
Atari
game consoles.
Lynx, the original
What
Lynx
is that
looks
in line
more.
with?
It looks like a fucking phone. Look how
No,
smooth it is.
Your phone looks like that?
No, I'm saying it looks more like a phone than the fucking thing that's transforming.
Here's what I'm saying.
Look at the Lynx 2 right now. It looks like a convertible car I'm looking down at.
I'm closer with Raj on this one now. Like, I don't like what we just saw, but this most recent one isn't like as bad as you like it. The most recent one we just saw looks like the end of the Animorphs sort of transformation, and the one before it looks like the step right before the end.
I wish I could hear you, but we've already put it on this thing. It's done.
No.
Fair.
You know, if we had a whole filibustering campaign before this of what we're doing here.
I can be down to put it.
And one of the things Barrett said is that once I put it on the board, it's over. And we said, okay, Barrett.
I can be down.
I did say that. I can
be down with low D.
He left the room.
If we move up the Atari Lynx to C.
No.
I'm down. Listen.
No. Oh my God! What amazing!
I'm just saying.
Moving on. Everybody.
I did not realize I would get so heated about the Atari Lynx.
I love it.
Holy shit!
Well, only 35 more consoles to go.
The Nintendo Game Boy.
Ooh, now come on. Hold on. Before we come in with all of the modern criticisms of it, let's just talk about this beautiful bastard.
I love this guy.
You kidding me right now? What a fucking unit.
Just an ugly fave, you know?
Very much so. You know what I mean? This was the thing, you knew one day Nintendo would get it together and their handhelds would blossom. And this is the ugly duckling face that we loved. We loved him.
Yeah.
Okay? Despite all the attachments I had to buy to make it work.
Of course.
The magnifying glass, the lights, you name it, I had to have it all. My case that was just a bigger Nintendo Game Boy.
And we think they would fix it for the sequel. They did not. They did not.
The thing about this is not only is it classic, not only is it iconic, there's so much great design to it. Even the divots on the D-pad are unique. There's these little lines on each, the up, down, left, right. They have 2 little lines each to make it different than the NES. And the colors of the B and A button being that like coral, and how good that looks with the green screen, and like all the little design language of the colored lines at the top, the like indigo logo.
I go more
Nintendo
raspberry
Game
on the
Boy.
buttons, Tim.
You're
Raspberry's good. Yeah, raspberry's good.
But where the speaker grills are, the diagonal shape to a lot of the things, there's so much going for this. My only reason I wouldn't put it incredibly high is they refined this design so well in not even that long that I would say, I mean, this has to be A tier, I think.
Really?
But it's not S tier.
No, this is probably going to be a low B for me because I'm going to look at the other choices and go, this doesn't belong in that category or in that ranking. I think this is going to be a B for me.
I was going to give a respectful C because again, I love it, but it's my nostalgia talking, and I think that again we're about to get into all the iterations they do to this thing. That if I'm already putting it up into B, then I'm pushing so many up higher.
My argument is I just feel like all the Game Boy designs are good though.
Sure,
and I feel like there can be many high-ranking ones. I feel like the Game Boy is so solid. It's my least favorite of the Game Boys, I think, but I think the Game Boys are just good designs.
But I also think that we are going to get to a point where we have to be way more judgmental when they're like increments apart that we can't have just a whole row of A's at a certain point. Like
we won't be respected anymore.
Yeah, we got to respect the list.
I mean,
we may get banned from the website.
Jeff Grubb, he's been looking for a reason to take us down lately. This could be it.
I'm leaning towards high C, low B for it. I think Tim's spot on in terms of a lot of the visuals, right? Calling out the coloring of the buttons versus the base console,
the
and
fonts,
like
the logo,
fonts, the difference
cool.
on the side, like the little the imagery like in the bezel, right?
Dot
Like
matrix with sound.
a lot of that I think visually does hit, but I do think when you look back at it, especially when you hold it, it does feel like a brick and it does look like a brick. And I do think that the design has improved so much to make it look like oh no, this is we talk a lot about like toy versus like, modern device or whatever, right? Piece of technology. I think Game Boy Color is like the apex of this is a toy, but it's like a good ass design for a toy. Whereas I feel like Game Boy, the original, is them just getting started with it. I think it still is held back by that design that does make it look very brick-like. And like for me, that isn't appealing to my eyes, right?
Yeah, you won me over there. I was thinking A to B, but then the more I think about the brick aspect of it and how it's been refined over the years, and especially looking ahead of like, oh no, there's very quickly we're going to get some really great iterations of this. I think this is a C.
You're going to get me to a point now where I'm going to look at this score and be like, God damn, I regret putting that stupid Atari in there because the Game Boy and the Atari don't belong in the same tier together.
They simply don't, y'all. They simply don't.
That's why we have the F tier.
Another argument I want to put out there, I clearly am not going to win with the A here, but it being a brick, it commits to that brick so well from a design point of view. You put that cartridge in, and all of a sudden, everything just fits
That is
perfectly.
true. That's a good argument.
Design.
That's a good argument.
The little thing slides over the little divot in the.
Come on.
I mean,
When you put the game in, it feels so
Part
good.
of it, not to throw, it is by looks, but it's a green screen. Is that something that we should add on to this?
It grosses me out.
It does gross me out too.
And I think that's where I'm at with the C. Is like that cements it there where I'm like, beep, no, it's just a green screen.
I don't mind the screen alone with everything else around it, just throws it all off. C.
C.
Here we go.
I think by
Top
the end
of
of this,
C.
I started leaning more B, but I think C is where this is going to come down to.
There we go. Moving on, we have the Game Boy Pocket, my first Game Boy.
God, this thing's a looker.
This is where it gets real interesting because this thing is sleek. This thing is sexy.
beauties.
This thing came in so many different colors. They weren't really quite ready to have the fun of we're going crazy neon and all this stuff. These were very primary color focused things. There was just like the primary blue, the primary green, the primary red. Here we have the yellow, the black. But the
silver one's the one I know of the most. That's like the default one to me. Not the top left one here that we're seeing on YouTube, but the one with all the black buttons. All the black buttons.
This is also where they started to dabble with the translucent. And there was one that I think they called Ice Blue, and it was one of the sexiest things I've
That's
ever seen in my
hot,
life.
dude. Come on.
Game Boy Pocket's incredible.
I somehow skipped this generation. Like I completely had no idea this existed.
I thought the Game Boy Pocket was something completely different.
I thought it was the mini.
I thought it was like the little guy.
Completely had no idea this existed. This is awesome.
How big? What size is
Look
this?
at this. Look
Could
at
fit in
this
your back
sucker.
pocket. Could fit in your back pocket.
pocket.
It's
That's a big deal.
about the exact same size
Look at
as
that
this,
default
just
one,
a little
Wes.
thicker. Because
Okay.
it had to fit AAA batteries.
Look at that sucker.
That looks great.
So I mean,
So
I
good.
think that's the reason I was like, hey, we got to put the last one at C because this one's way better.
I just still argue. I feel I would put this at, for that design, I could argue an S, but I also wouldn't be mad with an A. But I think that it's in the same tier, just higher than the original Game Boy. But
I would say on that one,
I'm going S.
I would go A.
I would
I
go
think there's
A.
still room to innovate, but it did eliminate the problem of it being the big brick, right? That was always the big thing about the pocket, is it could fit in your pocket. Everybody loved that. It was, taking what we already loved about the Game Boy, shrinking it down, making a better screen, right?
Not green screen.
Yeah.
They changed the curves of it, so it was a bit more like it was very angular, like very sharp, like 90-degree angles, and then one side had like the sexy little curve. They knew what the hell that they were doing, and again, offering in that many colors for a handheld, which was more of the like, let's show off our personality. We're in public. This is a part of me. They really nailed it there.
Yeah, that is the version that, even though I don't think I've ever really thought about that version, clearly because we didn't associate it with, that's the version that I imagine the Game Boy actually is, right? So to me, that's an A.
I would put this A. I freaking love this thing. I do think there are going to be other things that kind of are a league above it, but man, this is a looker right here. I love this freaking little thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna abstain / I guess deprioritize my vote because I want to say A, but I've never seen this thing in real life. I don't think, And so I don't
Only
feel
museums,
comfortable.
history books.
Well, we haven't seen a lot of these things in real life on the console
we can't
side
touch the
either.
buttons.
We're looking at JPEGs. Bring up some.
I mean, based on that
JPEGs.
JPEG, I would say A or S. So whatever the rest of the crew's leaning is where I'll go.
Hey.
Then we are moving on to
Ooh.
Oh shit.
the Sega.
The Game Gear.
Greg, it's your turn.
This thing.
I had a Game Gear. I was a Sega boy. I had the Game Gear. All right. I had my little man purse that I took it to school with to play on the parking lot. 3,000 batteries to play Alien 3. Oh, I'm Ripley. I'm crawling through a tube. You know what I mean? Like, back to it. Roger was so wrong about the Lynx Gen 2. But the argument of it just being this little fatty baby, you know what I mean, and being like the at least the Atari Lynx 2 had like, it felt like a design in mind. Again, it's looking like the Duke, it's looking like a convertible. The Game Gear just looked obese from the start. You know what I mean?
It was in color.
It was in
It's a
color.
big deal.
When you see a game playing on it, I think it raises the value of this
Backlit
thing.
screen.
Sonic, man, I was playing
Yeah.
Sonic on there. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I was playing Batman Returns on there. Don't worry about it. All right, I was playing on there. Did I say that I was
12
playing on there?
double
I was
batteries.
playing on there. Huh?
12 AA batteries, right?
I
Was
don't
it
remember.
12?
I plead
Or
the
was it
fifth on
six?
that
Like
I
one.
that's
think
a
it was
college tuition.
12.
Especially if you're like getting Energizers. That's like, damn.
Well, I think this is the same time Michael Jordan was hawking rechargeable batteries, so don't worry about
that's
it.
huge.
Did I use them? No,
Six
I did not.
batteries.
But it doesn't worry. Yeah.
I just hate so much about it.
Can you bring it back up?
Yeah, bring it back up because
The-
it's fugly.
The start button kind of being half cut off,
Well, and, like,
when
this-
nothing else does that.
What is the point of
This
the divot, like on the right buttons, on the 1 and 2?
So you can,
Thumb sweat,
Yeah,
thumb-
yeah.
Thumb
Chill
hole.
out for a second. You know.
Here's the biggest
Why,
problem.
why is the start button there?
My big problem with controller with face button designs is when they curve up like this. Like it freaking sucks. Nobody wants this. And for some reason, handhelds were like obsessed with doing this. But like the 2 should be lower than the 1, not higher than the 1. Do we agree?
That would I do, but that would also likely add more bezel to this thing, because then you're having to scoot the 1 would then have to moved over more to the right. It can't just go directly up there in that situation, because then it'd be right where the start button is.
Well, I mean, just I don't know. Figure it out.
When you say 2
I
should be
mean-
lower than the, you're saying like the 2 should come down vertically?
I'm saying that like it should be this and this instead of this and this.
Because basically,
you
when
hold
you're
this
running,
to run as Mario, you
Yeah.
hold this to jump.
Yeah, so
I
you
hate
can
when
put
it's
your
this
thumb
to
down.
run and this to
you
jump.
use the fat of your thumb to jump
I get what
down.
you're saying.
You know what I mean?
How's the
he's
game?
contemplating.
Can we bring back a Game Boy? Hold on, is the Game Boy does that have like the
Game
right
Boy
button
goes
lower?
the wrong way.
The way
I
the
think I'm
tin
used to
doesn't
that
work.
way. I think I might prefer that way.
I don't think you do. It's why you don't like playing Nintendo games like with the Switch controller, because that's how it defaults. It's always so stupid.
Yeah.
But when there's 2 buttons, yeah, that's the weird thing. I've not thought about that. I need
was a
more.
different time.
Wait, hold on, give me that Game Boy game.
I would give this a D.
Sure.
Tim's right.
We've
Never
created
mind. Yeah, no.
we've created
Tim's
a
right.
bad rubric here.
As somebody who had the Game Gear and played the Game Gear, blah 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 blah. As somebody who called out the TV tuner, wanted that forever, never got it. You know what I mean? Because that's what I needed to do, was watch TV. I would say F. Like
No way.
I don't have a soft spot for the Game Gear after owning it and being a part of it. You know what I
We're
mean?
not talking about soft spot. We're talking about design here.
But throw it back
this is
up.
the-
Like, it annoys me. This is back to some of the annoyances of the fucking console generation of like, why are there so many colors going on this screen right now? Why is it
the colors go together. This is
not like this? They don't. Not like this. They do. You have a nice sleek black thing. Then you have these nice. You have white letters. All right, great. Then it's like, now I'm gonna throw this red, green, and blue. Now I'm gonna put some of the words in green. The blue. The start
logo.
button's blue.
This is a C,
The Game
dude.
Gear's got one font. Sega's got another font. Portable video game system is a different font altogether. Power and start might be the same font. It's got this one little stupid ass speaker down there. I just don't like it.
That's the least of my
That
problems.
speaker.
The least of my problems are the fonts with it. It's just the shape of it and
Yeah.
the sort of body. Like when you see a car come out with a new body style, and you're like, oh, I don't like the way the back of the trunk kind of goes with that back tire.
Sure.
I'm seeing these weird ass curves with the D-pad. Like it looks like it melted with like when someone was holding it. It's just odd.
It reminds me of like the material it's made out of. Like reminds me, like it looks like something like that should be in the show Gumby, and this is something Gumby
Sure.
plays, and it doesn't
Sure.
feel like it looks
Hate
good
Gumby.
to hold.
And
it
this-
looks like the bed of a truck.
And this guy is real thick, right?
Again, bloated. It looks like you could toss that right into a pool. Yeah, it's real thick.
It does look like you toss in a pool.
Yeah, right? Like
Gotta get it float.
It's like I
Well,
inflated
you
that,
hold
now
on to it,
Ben's
it's
going to
not
get on
sink.
top and I'm going to push him around.
Where
for
did we
half an hour.
rate it on our pool?
Our pool floaties.
Full floaty.
So thick and it's heavy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Then that's to me that's the antithesis of what a handheld console should be, and I feel like that also needs to
But again, we're going to
you like
throw
the
it
Steam
out.
Deck,
We're going to
though.
throw that out because that would
You know?
involve you picking it up.
I feel like the ergonomics of Steam Deck. I agree with you.
Yeah.
It's heavy, but it's also going for something else. But whatever.
But here's the thing: it's heavy, but it's balanced. Like it's not like it's
Is it?
like
Okay, I've never
it's
touched
like,
the Game Gear.
It's the early, not even 90s. Yeah, early 90s. Like first full color portable thing. It's heavy because it needed 6 batteries in it. Like there's a lot of things like. Yeah, design-wise, though, I feel like they did the best that they could to make a handheld portable version of these games.
Best that they could have, or best that they should have. Should they have actually have even done this?
100%.
They should.
I
don't know
disagree.
about
This is
that.
the best they could have done because, like, regardless of how big and chunky the machine is, I don't give a shit how chunky it is. I'm not rating any of these on that. It still looks ugly.
Yes.
Like, they chose an ugly body style for it. It's an ugly shell.
Yeah,
It looks so much better than any of the Lynxes. Like,
See,
that's insane.
that's so funny because it's like
No,
the
I
shell.
still think Atari Lynx 1 looks better.
I think it's a D for me. I would put this.
placement on the Lynx.
I would put this below the Lynx one.
The
I would
button
say it's a
placement on
D
the
for me
Lynx
as well.
is
Again,
top
you
of
don't
D.
like
It's
top
saving
of D.
money.
I might put it below the Lynx.
No,
Dude,
dude.
lost touch with the consumer.
This is above the
No,
Lynx.
I mean, below the Lynx is in like to the right of it, right? I think I think it's landing in D no matter
No,
what.
I
It sounds like.
the Game Gear for the shell of it is my least of my concerns because it does not look that offensive.
But that's the look
it has
of
issues
It has
with
no
it.
personality.
I think my biggest issue is the thickness of it. But I look at that Lynx and I'm like, no, that's barely a.
I would
a
put-
handheld
The
Can I see,
personality is the colored screen. Like, we need to
Yeah.
take that in consideration if we're going to talk shit about the green of the Game Boy. Like, the
green of the Game
popped.
Boy. No. But like, the green of the Game Boy is how it looks when it's off. The screen, how the Game Gear looks like that is when it's off as well. The
I get
green
what
of the
you're
Game Boy is like so pronounced and so much more saturated than any of these other screens are when they're off. I'd be fine putting this above the Lynx.
Can I see
Yeah.
the Game Gear from the back?
While you do that, Casino
You're a nasty man. You're a nasty man.
You know?
in the chat, Casino
gear you got
Bala
back
says,
there?
I wouldn't argue too hard for D tier placements. Haha. Well, Casino, that's why you're watching us and we're not watching you. All right? We care about our job.
he doesn't
we care
mean
about
that.
our job.
Casino, he doesn't
You
mean
know what
that.
I mean?
He doesn't mean
You'd
that.
go out there and go,
Professionals.
A, B, C, D. I'm going out for a smoke break.
He doesn't know what you do. He doesn't.
No.
That's nasty.
We fucking found some fucking goodwill ass. Like,
Oh no.
it's not fair.
This is why you gotta ask about from the back.
Bear picked the ugliest looking one.
Sometimes you see him from the front and you're like, oh, it looks great. Then you see the back and you're like, no.
Busted
no.
ass Game Gear back I've ever seen in my
It'd be
life.
like that sometimes.
Someone skated down a hill on
Plus,
it.
you get 3 more requests for backsides.
All right, bet.
This goes top of D of what we have so far.
I agree.
I
Top
agree.
of D.
I agree.
Fair.
I feel good about
That's
this.
not fair. It's so great. Because it's not.
Oh.
Next up, we have. I don't know. This order is so weird.
Almost there. I'm organized.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Game Boy
Is this what we
Color.
have next?
That's what I have on my list.
All right,
Game
cool.
Boy Color.
What a
S, baby.
gorgeous
The Game Boy
baby.
Color.
Put it in S.
No.
I say S as well.
It's rough, man. This is really rough. I know I'm going to get a lot of shit for this. I think the Game Boy Pocket is superior. I think that because of the fun colors, specifically the teal, I love the color. There's just something about how this feels and even how it looks like how it fucking feels that I just have never vibed with entirely. I don't like how curved it is. I think design-wise, the Pocket being very clean and angular gets my vote. So I put this under the Pocket.
I know where your design sensibilities lie because the Game Boy Pocket is the closest thing to the analog Pocket, and they went for those sort of harder edges. This looks like the next iteration going up from the Game Boy Standard. This doesn't look like it. This looks like this came out right after the original Game Boy because of all the curved edges. But I think the color variety is something that cannot be denied. There are
Yes.
so many different things you can get here, and I'd argue A or S for me.
S.
I don't know exactly where I'd put it right now. I'll let you all talk about it. I'll think about it.
Oh, sorry.
I'll go for it.
I'm looking right now at a Pocket and a color, and I get what you're saying, but I can't deny the color. I can't deny the way that looks comparatively to the Pocket.
But you're comparing the best Game Boy Color to the generic default Game
Sure,
Boy Pocket.
That's
I
the one
mean-
Andy liked the most.
That is the one I like the most.
Yeah.
Actually.
I mean,
So you're calling Andy's opinions bad?
I mean,
Andy, you want to
yeah.
respond?
I do think that the colors of the Game Boy Color do bring it forward a bit, right?
Absolutely.
The options for the colors, because
That's all I was going for.
I know this is a nostalgia argument, but I take myself back to being a kid and going to school, and the other kids pulling out their Game Boys and being like, "Oh, you got a red one? Oh, you got a," and like, you know, I think there's something so exciting about that, right? The translucent purple that we got pulled up here, atomic purple. Like, there's something so cool about that variety.
I also really love part of the shell design, those little angles going down from like the D-pad and near the buttons, like on the front of these pieces of hardware. There's like, it's kind of angular. It's kind of hard to see it unless photos are being taken of it in certain light, but it's just a cool little touch to it. It's a cool little added thing to the way the hardware feels. I think the Game Boy Pocket may look cooler because of the font they use. I don't love the colorful color.
Yeah.
I understand why they did that, but this one's a really tough one already.
It is, because I love it and it's great, and I think all the Game Boy family is fantastic. But I do think that the colors are the only thing the Game Boy Color really has going for it. But that's a major win. It's a major plus for it. But
and the
quality
color
of the screen, the quality of the screen's not that great.
But it's a color screen over the Pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Is that part of the conversation?
Well,
I mean, because
I only said that because Tim was using the Game Gear's color screen as like a
I
big.
think so.
because I think that's a strong argument for the Game Boy Color.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is above the Game Boy Pocket in A. I don't think this is an S tier. I'm looking at both. Again, it feels like the spot the difference game where I'm like, oh, okay, the B and the A are actually on the buttons. I would say that this is above the I don't think it's an S. I think it's above the Pocket and the A.
I mean, I'd be down for A. I'm not mad about it.
I love the Pocket because it looks like Sony made it. It looks like it's like an older sort of Sony hardware, the way their old Walkmans look. And whenever Kojima puts out a photo of his Walkman, it's like, that's a cool little device right there. And I think that adult me likes the Pocket more, kid me loved the color more. And that's where I'm trying to
that's kind of where I'm at too.
Cyborg says, Barrett, can we bring up the Game Boy Color's fat ass, please? Like, it cannot be
big
undersold.
dumper.
How
So do
fucking,
I got a dumper. I like my Game Boys like I like me.
Counting this as one of my.
Andy, you want to
Yeah,
respond?
we don't even need to pull it up. I'm just saying that it's not great. Like, that thing is round and unobtrusive.
I mean, you could never take away the memory of me though. Waking up Christmas Eve. Could we
Waking up?
Oh man,
I wake up Christmas Eve. I got my green Game Boy Color with Pokemon Yellow.
Honestly,
it
I think
comes
the curve.
out.
I think
But
the
it's good for
curves gives
ergonomics.
It,
It's a nice
personality.
Personality.
yeah, I don't mind the back. Yeah,
That ass gets into
Well,
personality.
I mean,
that's what
Yeah,
they
you
do.
try
That's
to
what
try
they
to
do,
sway
you know?
us away from it, but I'm like, that's a good ass.
I don't think it does.
It has a good ass.
It doesn't do anything that makes me not like it. If I have to be the fifth vote, I'll be the fifth vote.
Do you?
I don't think. I was the only one that asked anymore.
where we
Right?
at?
I'm the only one.
Yeah,
still
I
holding
put
on
it
to
to
I think we have what? Greg S, Tim,
I'd go bottom
Tim
A.
A.
I would go
Roger
top A. And then what do you?
I think I've been brought back down to. I guess the problem that I'm having, I'm trying to predict the future here of if I'm not putting this at S, what am I putting at S? And I don't know anything I'm
Great
putting
answers.
above. You think there's stuff out there?
I know specifically
Yeah,
what
there's
I'm
some
rocking
stuff.
for.
I'm gonna say A. High A though.
I will go A above the Pocket. The color screen and all the different colors.
People just reminded me about the SP. We'll get there when we get there. But yeah, that's a good call.
God, I'm so jealous. I wish I had one.
My next door neighbor had one. I was so jealous. I wanted to steal it so bad.
Barrett,
Roger's going to put the N-Gage at S. And also, Roger, do you want to tell the chat what you discovered today?
I had a moment where I looked at the N-Gage, like, oh, I remember the N-Gage, and then I was like, oh shit, N-Gage, like engage. And I didn't realize that. I thought I kind of associated with the ear, the gauges of the ear, but then
And that's spelled differently also.
That's spelled differently.
and also, what does that have to do with video games?
I mean, I don't know. I was just thinking
It's because
it was a phone.
sound.
Yeah.
It was a phone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
It was a phone?
It sure was.
That's cool.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
everybody. Hey, we're gonna keep
This is
talking.
it's an ancient artifact for me. You know what I mean? Like, think about that.
That's fair.
We're gonna talk a lot more.
Buttons are a number pad.
I thought it was like,
Here's a word from our sponsors.
see the click?
This episode is brought to you by Shady Rays. Get ready for the season ahead with quality shades that are built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium polarized shades that won't break the bank. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers an unrivaled product that's just as good as any expensive pair that we've worn. Y'all know I've been outside a lot playing Pokemon Go, and it's been a great experience wearing my Shady Rays when I'm out and about looking dope. And that's not all. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost or broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. You can wear your Shady Rays with confidence because they have your back long after you purchase. Exclusively for y'all, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal. You can head to shadyrays.com and use code KINDAFUNNY for 50% off 2 or more pairs of shades. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Shadyrays.com, use code KINDAFUNNY for 50% off 2 or more pairs of shades. This episode is brought to you by Hims. Guys, sometimes intimate moments happen spontaneously, and we always want to be ready so we can perform in the bedroom. Hims has treatments that can help you stay hard and last longer, giving you that boost of confidence so you can be ready whenever the mood strikes. Hims is changing men's healthcare by providing access to affordable sexual health treatments, all from the comfort of your couch. Hims provides access to a range of doctor-trusted ED treatments, such as chewable hard mints, proven treatments like Viagra or Cialis, or their generics for up to 95% cheaper. No insurance is needed. Pay one low price for your treatments, online visits, ongoing shipments, and provider messaging. And the process is simple and 100% online, so no uncomfortable in-person visits necessary. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/kindafunny. That's HIMS.com/kindafunny for your personalized ED treatment options. Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions, details, and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Good news! A new run of my children's book, Portillo the Wiener Dog Thinks He's a Manatee, is available for pre-order right now! Head over to kindafunny.com/store to snag one before the end of the week. And while you're there, pick up a few items from our Portillo merch line, including shirts, crew necks, and hats. Already got them? Grab them for your favorite best friend. Christmas is only 5 months away!
Now, Greg, I'm going to need some help here.
Sure, I want to hold, because this is a big reveal. You said it when you left, and I think you're going to the next console?
Yeah.
Or handle?
Uh-huh.
You said, what's next? Barrett said it, and then there was a collective, I don't even know what that is, and we stopped everybody from looking at it, and Bless specifically said, I'm scared to go get a donut because I don't want to miss this.
Okay, good.
So let's hold on 1 second, okay?
Because I have heard of this.
Oh.
You've heard tells.
I have never seen it. I don't know exactly what it is. This reminds me a lot of when in the early days of the Kind of Funny Gamescast, back in 2015, where you were telling me about the Sega Master Drive. And I was like, what the actual fuck is that? Because as far as I knew, the Genesis was the first Sega system. So I was like, I've never even heard of this fucking thing.
Master System?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which now...
Master Drive. I was like, where were we driving to?
Oh, well, what's the Master Drive? Same
Wait,
thing, right? Master System?
Is there a Master Drive?
There is a Master Drive, yes. That with the Master Drive is what Genesis was called outside of the United States.
Okay, I'm messing some things up. So
Mega Drive, I'm sorry, was what it was called.
Yes.
Master System is the Sega Master System, which I started with.
Master
Genesis
System.
is Genesis, and then outside of the US, it was in fact the Mega Drive.
When Greg's talking about the Sega Master System, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And it blew my mind. This is another one of those situations where I've heard of this, but I've heard of the Sega Nomad, a handheld system. I always thought that this was something that got canceled that didn't actually come out. Like, what the hell is the Sega Nomad?
I'll read from Wikipedia to give you exact, right?
Wow.
The Sega Nomad, also known as the Genesis Nomad, is a handheld game console manufactured by Sega and released in North America in October 1995. The Nomad is the portable variation of the Sega Genesis home console.
Oh.
What the Nomad was is you took your cartridges and put them into this and played on the go. It was a portable Genesis. This was the Steam Deck reference I made off the air. Of like, oh, everything's so cool to have a Steam Deck. We had this. Sega, ahead of their time for so many reasons, right? The Sega Channel, right? Where you plugged it in, you dialed it to dial up, you had all the Genesis games you wanted at the touch of your fingers. It was all there. They were ahead of the game. And yeah, the Nomad was take your Genesis games on the road.
They're doing what Nintendo don't.
Yeah.
How many years after the release of Genesis? This is
95 is when they did it. And what you're asking me, and that's tough because I got the Genesis in first grade. So that would have been what they're citing here at 88. Oh, in Japan, 88, 89 in North America. So yes,
well, let's see
years. Yeah.
The Sega Nomad.
How fat's this?
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see the problem. You can see the problem right off the bat.
I hate that D-pad.
Yeah,
that's
that was offensive.
That's the first thing you think about.
Yeah,
look at it.
I mean,
I can't pinpoint what I hate the most.
That was
I'm looking at
Genesis'
those
problem,
buttons.
though. Genesis had, I hate their buttons. I hate their button placement. They're always like just being a little too mushy and weird about everything.
Dude, it's the material they're using. It looks like the center console of an old like Ford Explorer. Like It's just that material looks like it's something that you would put a cup in for a cup holder. I hate that.
Yep.
The screen looks lopsided because of the bezel design.
Yeah, that's true too.
I don't like. The button shapes are bad. And like that material for the buttons don't look great. I mean, that's hard to judge because that's one that I'll need to get my hands on. Actually impress them, but they don't look like they press good.
Looks like you bought this before. It looks like you bought it before a field trip, and it looks like a disposable camera kind of as well from behind. I don't like the way everything is skewing towards like. Let's heavily weight things on the left. Like this screen bezel is going wider on the left side.
Yeah. And the Nomad logo is bad.
The low bat period. Like, come on, y'all.
Yeah. So again, to give you more context for all of this, which I think is important, remember that this came out after the launch of the Sega Saturn. So you're talking about why didn't I pick it up, right? It was the fact that, well, I was already on the path to Saturn at that point, right? I'd already been tricked into getting a Saturn at that point. So I was already done with my Genesis at that point. I probably traded all my stuff into Funko Land. The cool thing about the Nomad as well, though, was it did have a TV out. So you could play like a Genesis that way and put it out to that way.
Man, we talk about messaging nowadays. We're like, how is Nintendo Switch going to really message that this is like just another version, more powerful thing? How the hell do you market this thing back in the day where people have such little concept of what console and video games are?
Yeah.
But the idea of like, this thing can play your video games from the Genesis, but it like the one from several years ago, not the current one, because I know every Latino household calls everything a Nintendo. Yeah. So like, it's not the Jaguar one. That's wild. I had no idea this thing was an actual functioning hardware.
One of the things I do want to toss into assets, it's just a YouTube video I pulled. The thumbnail's great, Barrett. I assume the video will. I would like to show what it looks like with a cartridge in it.
Yeah. I think that's very important. Because we haven't actually talked about tiers of this thing yet. I think that this is pertinent information for us to see how these cartridges are sliding into this.
Tundra on YouTube chat says ass check.
Yeah, I was going to ask, do you want to use your ass check?
No, I'm not going to use my ass check. I've seen enough. All right,
he's not redeeming his ass check.
Enough.
Nothing's gonna sway me.
I do want the cartridge check.
That's what I expected. That is so. We're looking like putting a Game Boy game in a Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, this is situation. You see, this is some hack thing though. This is the Mega EverDrive. It looks like it's got everything involved. I just grabbed it random.
EverDrive's a cool word.
It is a cool drive. Yeah, I'm looking to see what to get. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. It's not gonna get much better. Yeah, here's one with Sonic 3 in it. Right, that looks better. Barrett, I'll send you this link in assets as well.
Like I'm about to shed a tear.
You could have been playing Sonic anywhere. You know what I mean?
That's cool.
As God intended, right there.
God,
the way it should be meant to be. He's an ugly little spud. You know what I mean? Like, not much to write home about, right? Yeah. Again, ahead of their time. Cool technology.
Pretty damn wild. Yeah. Now, I'm just going to get ahead of this. I'm going to throw a letter out there first. This is not an F.
What?
This is a D. This is not an F. I just want us to think back to what some of the F tier consoles were. Like, there is some, like, hideous, ugly ass, like,
Apple's
we have way too much shit going on. This is bottom of D.
This goes
actually, I'd like to see the tier list.
I'm
already thinking this is probably going to be F tier for me because
100%.
I think of this is not your first rodeo. This thing didn't come out in '88, the first handheld thing. You've had several years to know what looks good and what looks cool, and you've had different console generations to know what buttons would look cool, and nothing about the choices they made here, design-wise, look cool.
Yeah.
For me, F is the tier of, it gave me a visceral reaction immediately, and that's what that was for me. I saw that, I was like, that doesn't look right. That doesn't look right. That's an F tier.
To me, it goes middle D because it looks exactly right. It looks like a portable Genesis. I know what a Genesis is. I know what you need to play Genesis, and that's what that is.
I say F tier and bottom of that. I put it under the Lynx too.
Wow. I concur.
Yeah, I concur. For me, it's like
3 doctors concur.
It's like that experimental album that an artist makes, where it's like it could be good experimental, right? Because it's weird and different. But then I think there could be bad experimental where it's like, you're just not hitting it, right? It's like when Lil Wayne would make his rock and roll albums, and this for me is that of like era. You swung at Sega, like you really swung for this, but I think for me it was a swing and a miss.
Lil Wayne would always pretend he was playing guitar, and it was like that. Like when somebody throws a baseball for the first time, you're like, that person's never thrown a baseball in their life. Yeah. Like Lil Wayne's never actually played guitar. Like it's just like that's not plugged in right there. This thing looks so ugly, by the way. Like Barrett bringing it up and putting it in the ranking made me hate it even more.
Yeah,
it looks like a disposable camera.
After that, we had the SNK Neo Geo Pocket.
Oh. Interesting.
Oh.
Whoa.
Oh.
A joystick? Whoa.
Neo Geo, more of an arcade type situation. So we're trying to mimic the arcade sticks.
What's the name of this? Sorry, the
Neo Geo
Pocket.
Pocket.
Okay, gotcha. I just want to see, are there other colors of this? Because I hate this color. And if there's a neutral color, I'll be like, this is pretty good.
I feel like this is the type of thing that there are different shells for, and I feel like I appreciate that because I think that while this isn't my favorite colorway, it works. Like I think this is we're getting to the point where it's like, all right, cool, this thing can be in different colors and look good, like a Game Boy Color, like a Game Boy Pocket. So I appreciate this.
The dots kind of meshing with the speaker grill is really annoying me.
Oh.
But there's other colors. I'm looking at it.
But so there are other because
not to be confused, because there's the Neo Geo Pocket Color, which we're gonna get to after this.
Gotcha. Good call.
This is a lot cooler than this is a lot cooler than I thought it'd be though. But this is still like high C, low B territory for me.
Yeah, I'm leaning C.
I would go C because we have a color variation and it looks very similar. So we'll see what that looks like. I'll go C.
Yeah, I couldn't in good faith put this above the Game Boy, but
It is really cool.
I'm down for middle C.
Yeah, I agree.
Middle C, okay, I'm fine with that.
Hey.
Wait, did this have color?
This one doesn't. The next one
Oh,
does.
you're exact. Okay.
Neo Geo Pocket Color.
Put the ad out.
Next up, Neo Geo Pocket Color.
This is a cute little fucker.
It is.
Well,
And it looks metal, and I fuck with that very heavy. Like I like the design of that. It feels like, oh, this is weighty. I know it's
I don't
not.
think it is though.
I know it's not.
disagree. I feel like this to me looks cheap.
Oh
it's
no, I
not
like
the
the
metal.
little dots. I like the grooving around the analog stick.
Oh,
Like
they have a translucent
that looks
one as
sick.
well.
I don't like the look of the buttons. I don't like the look of the stick. I put this one under.
whoa.
And I don't like just the way too much text at the top. The colors.
I don't like.
good
Yeah, I don't like
looking.
the color in red popping like that.
The translucent one is pretty freaking sick.
This feels kind of ahead of its time.
Because of these sort of purple buttons, the purple translucent buttons on the sort of frost white translucent body style is looking real good.
Yeah.
I don't think any of these colorways look good with the Neo Geo logo being red and the color font being red there.
I see that. I wish
Or
they
even
would
with
have
the red
coordinated
LED
that.
light.
Sure.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I put this under the pocket.
I put it above it.
I put it above the pocket, below the Game Boy.
I agree with that.
Same.
But I'm very impressed by this thing. This is cool.
I think
This
I
is-
would have sided with Tim after all and put it below, but we don't have the votes.
You don't have.
Yeah, I'm watching a
I
video
need
right
you to
now.
find
somebody
11,000 votes.
messing around with one, and even when it's on with games playing on it, I think it looks pretty cool.
It's really cool.
Yeah,
I
that
like
is
that.
good.
I didn't know this thing existed. That's awesome.
Color screen too. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a cool
Yeah,
little
like,
console.
Roger, look at this.
That one looks
I mean,
sick.
Oh, that's
shots from
sexy.
Neo Geo.
Come on.
Yeah,
Are you
that's
talking
hot.
about the
I
frost
mean,
one?
above the Game Boy. What's up, Blessin?
I mean, I'm not gonna budge that much.
What if?
Okay, we got to do it, y'all. The thing that I saw the most commercials for ever.
Well.
The Tiger.
Holy
Game.com.
Oh,
I don't even know what this
Oh, it
is.
had the stylus on the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, ahead of its time.
Fuck this thing.
I never
I'm gonna
saw
tell
this
y'all
one.
that
Is that
right
is
now.
is the menu sound and pause menu like curved? Like is that like on like a
Kinda.
little?
yeah.
Mhm.
That's disgusting.
Is that a
Yeah.
pen?
Yeah,
Is
this
that like a
is doo-doo
stylus?
butter.
What
Yeah.
is that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you look at the screen, it's like it looks like a graph calculator.
game?
It was like those really old, ugly, pressure-sensitive screens that
like
like
a
barely
palm
work.
line.
Again, I respect the swings. big swings being made here.
Oh.
I don't know if they're hidden.
Yeah, this is definitely like Palm Pilot era, right?
Yeah,
so that makes a lot of sense.
definitely.
Yeah.
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 This
no, fuck
sucks. Yeah,
this.
a lot of there's enough about it that is like if they flipped the silver and the black colors and if they kept the blue I love those
Yep,
blue
I'm with
accents
you
being
there.
there. But the shape and the look of the D-pad looks awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like a screw or something like that. This whole stylus deal at the bottom. Do we have any video footage of this?
Didn't
like-
have camera spec.
What the hell do
we
you
can get it, but I agree with you. The colors are good. The balance of the colors is off.
Yeah.
The biggest problem for me is the button placement of the face buttons. Like,
Oh.
what are we even doing here? Like, I don't want to play games on this thing ever.
Yeah. No.
It doesn't look like a game machine.
No.
Yeah, that's where I was going. Is like the last episode we talked about, inviting play, looking at something that you want to play, that you want to turn on. That is something that my dad would have, and it would be like a little like, oh, by the way, you can play games on that. I'm like, really? You can?
Yeah.
And then I would hack it, and then it would be like, oh, I guess it plays video games. Yeah, this is an F tier. This does not look like a video game console.
Yeah.
Damn, now that I think of it, the Neo Geo, like this
You didn't
Neo
ask
Geo
me.
Pocket should have been B. Let's be real. Look at this one.
Go on. It's on the
That one
list.
should have
Barrel
been
was
B.
clear.
Yeah.
That's a cool
That
one.
was very clear, Andy.
Damn.
Yeah, I'd go for this one. I think this is worse than the Nomad. So yeah, I go bottom F.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Fair.
I was picking all these up because
No,
I was
you're
just
good,
looking
you're
at, I was looking at the speakers on all of them because I'm like, when did we figure out speakers? Because I do not like how a lot of these speaker placements look. And just like, I don't know, the design of how the speakers look on the consoles, I just don't like them.
All right, I think things might get a little spicy here.
Oh, here we go.
The Game Boy Advance.
We got one right here,
Originally
everybody.
coming in 3 different colors. We had the indigo, the Arctic white, and then this translucent purple.
This is my
that they
original
got
one,
there.
everybody, from my childhood.
2001. First console I got day one.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Wow.
think that's right. Our first game thing I got day one.
Yeah, I'll let you guys go first because I have so much nostalgia for this.
D, top of D.
Holy
Thank
shit.
you.
What the fuck?
Thank you. Thank you.
We can move on.
Time is over.
This is a weird one because the body style looks like it needs the Game Boy Color font and fun choice, where that advanced font is just way too advanced looking for how doofy this thing is, and I mean that in a nice way. Like I think it looks like a fun little thing to use, but there's a lot of things that just don't match up for me. I think the shape of it like doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I don't know why you wouldn't just have 4 buttons instead of like the shoulder buttons. I think are kind of a
The
useless
shoulder
thing.
buttons are great. This thing needed 4 face buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's honestly bringing in the feel of the buttons is bringing this way down for me because I love the look of it. It is nostalgic. I touch all these buttons. I hate all these buttons. Most of these buttons at the very least.
I
Especially
mean, think about what it felt like fresh. You know, like that's an old.
That's true.
Game
I mean, you
Boy.
don't think
Lots of play.
you don't think this is mint? You don't think this is mint?
No battery cover.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I love it. I have a deep nostalgia for this, but yeah, I would give it low B.
I think I would go low B.
I'm impressed. I thought there was going to be a much bigger fight for this
and
to be
also
S tier
it's
or
also
something
not
crazy
backlit
like
too,
that.
which I think is
It's
part
a
of
huge
this.
problem.
It's a huge problem.
And on top of that, functionality-wise, shout out to them for allowing you to play Game Boy games.
Absolutely.
But design-wise, that was insane. You just have a freaking like an inch popping out of this thing. What a dumb call.
If you took off the shape and the look of the buttons and the name and like you Men in Black did that thing where my brain would just wipe my whole memory,
Neuralizer,
which is
great
pretty.
fucking device.
Yeah, I couldn't even think of that. Maybe I've already been neuralized. Like this looks like something that wasn't really made by Nintendo, and I think it's because of the body shape just looking so odd. It looks like a Tiger Electronics thing with how like the grooves go up top and the grooves go on the bottom.
I wouldn't go that far. I see where you're going with it, but I like the diagonal design of the start and select matching
That
the
I do
speaker
like.
grills. I feel like there's a nice balance to this whole thing, and I think that Raj, you have it right here. The kind of the surrounding frame of the whole thing, the gray frame, like from the shoulder buttons all the way around it, like. There's good design elements here. Like I do think
it
that
definitely feels N64 GameCube era. You know.
Yes, that's a great call out there.
With those visual elements.
Yeah, I understand what Andy's saying, but this feels like the elevated, sophisticated version of that, right? Where the Tiger Electronics were just like, I don't know, we're fucking putting all these angles and all this stuff. This feels like, oh no, we refined it, we made it nice. This is a good looking console.
Well, a lot of it is once you add the buttons back into how the body style looks, it's like, okay, this looks much better because Nintendo knows what they're doing with feel and look of things. I do got to give it a lot of points though for all the different color variations. Got a bunch of different colors.
That's true.
Yeah, but does it though?
Glacier, Arctic, Indigo. That's 3.
Those are the 3. Yeah, those are the 3 they launched with.
colors.
I would not give the Game Boy Advance a shout out for its colorway options because
That's a big bummer.
It launched with those 3, and like they all looked pretty damn similar. You know what I mean? Like that's not that different from the Arctic White and the Indigo. It's like they're all one very small family of
I'll
colors.
tell you what sucks even
They
more
look
is like
good, though, but-
the Glacier one, which is like see-through and look-through. Now I'm just completely going against my prior argument because I thought there'd be more than 3, honestly. They went with the same gray, white-ish, off-white colors for the buttons on the Glacier device. So like there's no contrast there. It's a lot of missed opportunities here. Opportunities. We'll talk about that later.
What?
Anyways, there wasn't a lot of colorways because this thing was ugly. It had no character, and they immediately got away from it and made a better version. Thank you, D.
It was not immediate
D.
enough by any
D.
stretch. of
It's
the
a B.
imagination.
It's a B.
It's
No.
a B.
This is
This is a B.
I put this under the Game Boy.
Whoa. Woo! No. I think this is a B.
Well, me and Tim say under the Game Boy. Then what do you say, Bless?
B.
No.
I never liked how it looked.
Under
Even
Game Boy.
as a kid, it reminds me of a middle
Under
Pokemon
Game Boy.
evolution, right? Like I look at this and I see War Turtle. You know what I mean? I see Ivysaur. I see Charmeleon.
That is
Okay,
awesome.
chill the fuck
There it is. It was that
Ivysaur
awkward
rules.
period. It's the teenager of the fucking Nintendo handheld devices, and it
That's
eventually grew into
This
into an
looks
SP.
like you were playing this and on the go, and then when you get home, you'd play Mario Sunshine and act like it was a good game. Next
So
one.
wait, where are we at here?
We get-
yeah.
what?
You got two
Here?
Ds and
Two Ds,
then
two Bs, and
you
a C?
were to
It's a B for
C
me.
underneath the Game Boy, so that'd be the highest it can get.
There we go. Boom.
Okay.
Drop it.
That should be below the Neo Geo.
Then next up we have. Oh baby. Oh no.
Oh, is this the micro?
This isn't in order, but that's okay. We'll do it. The Game Boy Micro.
This is what I was thinking the Pocket was.
Yeah. It essentially was, but for the
advanced.
Where's
advanced
the start?
generation.
So the start's like at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the whole thing about this, Raj, is this thing is not much bigger than a Game Boy Advance cartridge itself.
Oh, okay.
The whole point of it is how small can we get?
Yeah.
So there's a lot. It's a cool design. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Who wants small screens? Why don't we want smaller screens?
Tinier pockets.
This
man.
looks like another thing that wasn't made by Nintendo.
Yeah. It feels like a mod.
100%. This
yeah.
seems like something you get in a mall kiosk.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, we're talking about playability, right? We're talking about something that you want to play. I would not want to play this more than 20 minutes. Like, but this is a fun little thing. I'm not. This
It's
is
a
not the
novel thing you show off to your fellow
Exactly.
students about in
This
class.
looks like it
yeah,
came in a
this little
McDonald's
small
Happy
sucker.
Meal bag.
Yeah, you show your mom this, and you're like, "Oh my god, look how cool video games can be. They can be so small
Yeah.
now.
They can be so small.
They're the tiniest video game ever." I don't know.
I'm leaning D because it's not offensively bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's,
No, yeah, I would go
Yeah.
go above Game Gear.
yeah, it's the high D.
I agree with that.
ID. Okay, now here we go, baby. Game Boy Advance SP.
Oh,
Clamshell,
Sexy.
SP.
All the way
let's
to the
go.
top, baby.
SP tier,
This
Don't even
is
waste your time.
That's good.
What a
That's good.
great system.
this is an S tier for
Yeah.
S tier.
I agree.
Look at that,
Dude.
cobalt blue.
You can't beat that. You can't
I
fucking
think a
beat
lot of my
that. Throw it out.
perception of the Game Boy Advance, I know this is gonna be offensive to a lot of people, but like I think a lot of it was based off of that design of the original Advance. Where I'm like, I don't know, I just don't like how it
Ugly.
looks. When I went to my next door neighbor Freddie's house and he had a
Freddie?
Game Boy Advance SP and he handed it to me and we were playing, I think it was like Spider-Man 2 for the Game Boy
Fuck yeah,
Advance.
you did.
I thought it was a next gen system.
Dude, and that's the thing. When I saw the SP, I felt cheated. I was like, "There's no way that they just put this console that I have, this shitty fucking console with with no backlight, and they made that
console.
thing."
Yeah.
Can you fucking believe
It's
that?
different, dude.
It's insane.
It's different.
It's also worth pointing out, just because we're old, and at least me or whatever. Remember, this is the first rechargeable Nintendo.
Yep.
So
This wasn't eating up
true.
double A. I remember that was
right.
that was outrageous for me when I heard about it, and then when I was finally urged to buy it because of
Lost the
Extreme
headphone
Ghostbusters.
jack with that, but
Yeah.
A worthy loss for being able to recharge. This thing is a thing of beauty. The clicky shoulder buttons felt great. I mean, honestly, all the buttons on this thing feel great. The design choice of the cartridge going in at the bottom, that's fucking cool,
Awesome
y'all.
as hell.
The clamshell design, the indented screen, the Game Boy Advance logo, to Andy's point earlier, fits this thing.
It fits here.
This is so awesome. I love this thing so goddamn much. And if it wasn't S tier enough, if we're going to bring the colorways into it, this thing looked good in any color.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was the first time a special edition console was like, oh, what's possible out there?
You love
Can
the
we bring up
NES?
the NES edition Game Boy Advance SP? Oh, baby,
have to
this
buy
thing
one,
was
bro.
fucking hot.
Insane. That was the one where you were like, every time they put out a new one, you're like, fuck.
Now the Famicom
I loved
one
mine,
sucked.
but why didn't I? You know what I mean?
The Famicom one sucked,
Well, I mean,
but the Nintendo one was cool.
luckily we're here.
Yeah.
And you see the future of Nintendo in this one, which is great to see, right? Like, it's such a solid console, but then you're like, "Oh, I see where this is going to go."
yeah,
Wow, that's
no,
crazy.
this is it.
This was the shit.
And then
man.
the clamshell bless, like
Yeah.
we can continue the design. Like
That's
oh,
sick.
I need this.
The matte gray is so nice as well. The
Like-
screen right there looks like the PlayStation screen flip up. I don't know, it just looks awesome.
Yeah.
Like
for a
imagine
PS1.
if like the OG Game Boy Advance didn't exist and you went straight from color to
Yep,
the Game Boy
yep.
Advance SP, that might have murdered children. like, you would see that in magazine and immediately foam starts coming out your mouth.
Hospitals are filled to the brim.
Yeah, what happened?
Kids are
Oh, they
going
just
crazy.
announced the SP.
So unanimous S, right?
Yes.
There we go. Then Roger, the Nokia N-Gage.
Fuck yeah, bro. Let's look at this one. Wow.
Wow. You're telling me this is a phone?
I couldn't tell.
Call
Okay, I
start-
didn't see the top
call
part.
end
I thought
buttons.
that was start. Maybe I thought it was a little nod. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we'd make phones, but it's also start and select.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. This thing is even mushier than it looks. These buttons are raised in the curviest, ugliest way fucking possible. The puck like shape of this thing. Oh, it's bad.
You don't want to play in portrait mode?
man. can't tell you I do. I really can't. Now, here's the thing about this. This was the first time you could play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater portably in a way that was like, this shit looks like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater on the PlayStation 1. Holy fucking hell. And I still didn't want to do it. Yeah. I went to GameSpot, and they had a demo unit. I got to play Tony Hawk. I'm like, there's nothing I enjoy about this. And that is saying everything.
You would have me a lot of time on that one.
Yeah. Is this also a unanimous F? We there?
Yeah.
This is an F for me, especially at this era that we're at. Like, there's no way you can make something looking like this terribly when we are this modernized.
Yeah. And I want to take that even further. Can you bring it back up?
Pretty cool.
The most egregious crime that I think that the N-Gage does is the
screen resolution
aspect ratio of the screen, because it was trying to be a mobile game device at a time that we're not ready for that at all. This thing sucks.
I am shocked. I am looking at the gameplay right now of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater for the N-Gage. Did not realize that this was what it was doing.
This was the most next-gen thing possible.
Like, you look at this, and I honestly thought it was going to be playing some 8-bit bullshit.
Can you send this to assets?
Yeah.
Because I want people to see.
And the vertical screen is crazy.
I feel like they had a Splinter Cell game on there, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I remember playing that on my dad's phone eventually. They started porting those. They're like, we can't just have this game on just the N-Gage. Oh, someone did say Splinter Cell. Yeah. I was playing some Splinter Cell.
Oh, wow.
This is nuts.
It's crazy.
But then you get into gameplay, and it is. I thought it was. When Tim mentioned it at first, I was like, surely it's Game Boy style Tony Hawk. No,
that's crazy.
You're in Foundry. I forget the name of this. Warehouse. Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah.
Foundry was 3.
But yeah, man. Oh,
that's sick.
Moving on.
So
wait. Sorry. Yeah, we had to rank this motherfucker.
This looks like the underground version of Warehouse.
It's not.
It's not. Is this the? Okay, never mind.
Can you bring up the tier list?
F tier, very bottom.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
You're off the hook, tigergame.com.
Next up, we do have the Nintendo DS.
Ugh.
D.
Oh no, this is the DS.
This is the opposite, where I only had the DS Lite, and then when I saw this, I was like,
You're
"There's
so
no
smart.
way. There's no way that they released this. That's crazy." Yeah, no.
Well, here you go.
Oh shit.
Here we go.
Here comes Mario's best friend.
I want to argue that this is F tier.
Yeah. It was a bad system.
It took
Like,
all the
it's
fun
bad
away
buttons,
from
bad form factor.
Bad
ugly.
buttons, the raised touchpad that didn't feel good, and when the clamshell closed, it didn't feel like it really closed.
Yeah.
This was right around. This was literally with the Game Boy Advance SP. There was a thing of beauty. I don't want to sound crazy, so can you bring the tier list back up?
Just 1 second.
Damn, I didn't realize the vibes around the DS were like this.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
they're
I thought people would have been
OG
more.
DS?
That's why the light was like so revolutionary.
And I honestly, I'm looking at a picture of an OG DS. Not sure I've ever seen one of these in real life.
Dude, I hate the OGDS.
Yeah, look, as much as I hate it, looking at this,
You gotta
I would
D it
say
up.
it's F, but like I being real, I think it's a D on this tier
I
list.
agree.
Bottom
It's
D.
got to be above the.
It's
Atari
above the
Lynx.
Lynx, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
we
is
got
it-
to be honest with ourselves.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because the Atari Lynx should be in the F tier. but
Respect the links.
We fucked up.
I go above Lynx.
I go above Lynx.
Go above Lynx.
Fair enough.
All right, enough respect.
I would go above the Game Gear,
Yeah.
but that's just me.
Yeah, you know the votes.
Better button placements. Like, come on, Game Gear.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down with that. You guys down with
Sure.
that?
Weird
above
body.
the Game Gear?
No, I'm not.
Really?
Damn.
Wow.
Dude, closing this thing sucked, and that was the whole point of it. The design is bad of the DS.
But we're going on. I mean, just looks alone though. Like the body style of the Game Gear is, again, it looks like it melted in your hand. The shapes of the buttons, like the DS is not much better, but I don't think that it's as bad or worse than the.
I
Game
hate
Gear.
the colors of it. Like, it's literally just like, it's not offensive. It's boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. We can leave it there.
I'm fine below Game Gear.
Yeah, I agree.
More look at the links though. I'm like, let's bump that up to S tier. Who's with me?
Shut the fuck up.
Meant to say C tier, but
Next up, we have the DSi. Oh, baby.
Hey,
What
here
a-
we go.
This is what I remember.
DS Lite.
DS Lite before the DSi.
Yeah. Come on. What an upgrade. You know what I mean? It's like, let's just solve all the fucking problems of this
Fucking
first
incredible.
ugly ass thing.
Yeah. I had the red one. I love that console so much.
Yeah, I had the white DS Lite.
This reminds me a lot of the Game Boy Pocket, where it's like, let's just solve all the problems of the first iteration. I do think it lacks a little bit of personality overall, but That's not necessarily a bad thing. My gut says to go A for this one.
I agree with that because I think I don't want to spoil anything, but we have some iterations of this that I think might be interesting. So I would give this an A.
I agree. I love the DS Lite. Again, I'll never forget. It's so similar for me with the advance of Game Boy Advance launch. And I remember reading EGM's coverage of it and being like, I don't like what's happening. No. And then when they dropped the SP, I was like, I got to get that. And the same thing here where DS drops and I was like, that is ugly as hell. I don't want that. And then DS Lite dropped and I was like, I got that in whatever Mario game was out at the same time of it.
Mario Brothers,
I love the look of it. I love the feel of it. It might be S for me if they went with different button colors. Because looking at they have the ice blue variant and all the buttons are ice blue and they have that sort of pink kind of like rose gold looking thing and all the buttons are the same color. If they just went a little bit different there, it might go higher for me, but I would put this A. It's a very solid looking little machine.
I agree.
Is that our first A? No, it's not.
We've been avoiding B like the plague.
Hey, man, earn it.
Fair.
I'd go top A.
I would go top
A.
That's a gorgeous little thing. The clamshell is just so cool. Especially for a handheld to snap it, put it in your pocket, not worry about scratching
I like
the
color, or I guess I like the pocket more than the DS Lite.
I would go below color, but I don't got the votes.
You know what? I would go below color.
Oh shit! Maybe I got the votes.
Yeah, I would go below color.
Fuck! I got the votes, everybody.
We got the votes.
But again, Barrett put it on.
I would put it below pocket too, but that's just me.
Oh!
Do I have
I would also put it below pocket.
Oh, do we have to do two?
Whoa, we did it.
No.
We did it. Let's
I did it, everybody.
Let's go, Justice.
All right.
Let's go.
Now we have the DSi.
Now is the DSi XL?
Wait.
Is the DS? Was there multiple?
This is not the same picture you showed us.
I swear it's different.
This is not the light that we just saw.
Yeah, because it has the Wi-Fi stuff, right? So
The Wi-Fi, the charger, and the power
Yeah, what's the
button are
difference
all
between the
different.
eye and the light? DS is such a blank
the
spot for me.
camera in the center.
Yeah.
And I like this one less. You know what I mean?
Wait, so it's just looking at you the whole time while you're playing?
And this one is this an XL?
This one's not, but there is a DSi XL.
Okay, is that also going to be?
And this, correct me if I'm wrong, this one couldn't play GBA games, right? The light, I could put in the DS games, and then on the bottom, I could pull out the thing and put in my GBA games.
I don't remember.
That's what the chat's saying.
Thanks, chat. Thanks for having my back on that one.
Yeah, then for that, I think it would be
It
A,
drops,
but it would be
right?
at the bottom.
Yeah, I agree.
See, I would say B.
Wow.
Really?
I'd go. Oh,
I mean, look at it. It's just, there's something about the personality that's lacking. Granted, again, DS Lite, I will always think of as the white one, which I think looks better than the black one we were looking at. But yeah, DSi, I would put a B.
Yeah.
There you go.
I buy that.
Yeah.
They're the same thing. I mean,
No, we
they
just went
said
through all the
D.
ways. in
No,
there.
I mean, but like, but we're going by look.
Yeah.
I know, but like
I looked at
the
it.
actual little details, it's like the same thing, but just like worse in a bunch of ways.
Yeah, and we also talked about like ports and stuff in the last time, and I know that's not been like as applicable, but this is the first time it's like, oh no, they actually removed a whole port.
Shouldn't
Yeah.
the DS Lite be below the pocket? Oh, I thought we had that conversation.
No,
You did, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, did you?
Yeah, those votes happened.
Oh, okay.
it was a fast one. It was a fast one. I totally
Okay.
get
They
it.
all were like, I'm
there's a lot of
I'm sorry,
community.
Barry.
I just I feel like a third person said something, but like they didn't really mean it. You know.
I mean, it's
feel
one of
like
those
they were
things
just
as
going out
usual,
with the
Barry. You
train.
put it on the thing.
Yeah.
Your ruling was iron, but
Yeah,
you
I
wanted to
mean,
get in the
yeah, I'll
middle.
bring it back up.
No,
to the
no.
top A.
I don't know.
I guess I'm just of the mind that like the DSi, while worse than the DS Lite, doesn't look a whole ranking less. Like that's kind of crazy.
But I think that's showing how close the DS Lite was hanging on to A. You know what I mean?
Damn. All right.
Because we're gonna get some other DSs in a second.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we're here for quite some
The
time.
DSi XL.
I thought it was gonna be a fast one.
DSi XL.
There is no such thing. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, sure.
Roger, is this what
Did they not
excited
get
for?
No.
did they
Oh.
not get like sexy with some of the designs? Like sexy as in I guess colorful was more what I
They
mean.
have like a kind of shiny burgundy looking one. It's an ugly color choice.
Because Andy was talking about like the coloring of the buttons and stuff like that earlier, and I'm looking at these and I'm like, man, they look sleek,
uninspired.
but they don't look exciting to me.
Yeah. I would put this above the DSi just because it's a bigger screen. Right. And I think that sure we don't have the GBA slide. I don't think this one has a GBA slide either, but I think the bigger screen is a massive boost, especially when you see that thing turn on, you're like, fuck, this is good. I needed this.
I agree with Solzin in the YouTube chat saying too boring to be an A. I agree. I think this is probably a B for
I agree
me.
with that too.
I think this is high B, yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it's as good as the DS Lite. The DS Lite just closes so perfectly, and like what Greg was saying about the white version, it's so clean.
It's a nice ceiling sound, like it's like a soft touch.
Oh, that it is.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
Now we get to
Oh.
Let's have a conversation, everybody.
Let's have a conversation.
S tier
No.
No.
Fuck
No.
that.
above the Game Boy Advance.
Shut the fuck up.
No
way.
No.
This is the best.
Because we're not the
It's
Vita
the best.
yet.
No.
Fuck that knob. Fuck that knob. I don't like that stick. That stick.
It sucks.
Is it about how it feels?
It is apparently. Apparently it is.
I love Sony products. They got better as they went on. This is an A for me. I love this thing. This is not an S though.
I agree.
This is an S because the buttons are the actual size they should be. The X, the
Here we go.
square, the triangle,
He's
the
already
circle.
making his case against
They-
the fucking Vita.
Yeah, I mean, this thing is better. This is just simply better than the Vita. The shoulder buttons
Here
feel
we
better.
fucking
The
go.
D-pad feels so much better, and it's the right size. The nub, I agree, is not the highlight of this thing, but visually, the nub looks cool. The buttons on the bottom, they all feel good. They're every
Too
function
crowded,
that
though.
you need.
Too many on the bottom row there.
You're not using
And just
most
also
of
the
them.
size and shape of both the PSP and let's be honest, the Vita, too awkward to hold.
Oh, wow.
No, dude, this thing ergonomically feels so
I love
damn
my
good. The
PSP.
size of this screen, perfect.
No.
The quality of the screen, fan-fucking-tastic. This thing is beautiful.
It's
I absolutely love
like I love this thing. I already said I love this thing. This is an A rank for me. What keeps it away from the S rank is that it doesn't look like the PSP Vita or the PS Vita, and the buttons on the bottom. It gets so cluttered down there.
yeah.
And
There's
even-
so much shit down
And
there.
Greg even said you're not using most of them most of the time. I think this is a B.
A B?
I think this is a B. I think we're letting our nostalgia glasses cloud us. And you
way.
look at the Vita, and it's like, oh no, this is an A.
No, the Vita.
Save the
Yeah,
Vita,
Vita,
for
I'm
later.
going to S.
Say the
I
Vita.
think PSP is A.
I think
It's
this
also
is an
got
A.
the yellow charging port. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah,
here?
it's a
People
lot.
are-
We're making
kids are dumb. They're
technology.
trying to
If
put
we're
things in
talking
the-
about,
We're turning a console into a handheld.
if
know
we're
what I
talking
mean?
about the actual design of it, it is a B.
S.
This is an A.
A.
I think
Top of A, then.
Top of A.
I mean, this is as high
I
as
love the
possible.
PSP, as everyone knows. I'm sure we'll talk about many PlayStation Vita handheld in a second. But like, I would say for me, it's an A, and I would put it at top of A as well.
I agree.
I love the PSP, but everything we're calling out of too many buttons or this, that, the other. Like, I don't agree with the form factor business. I always thought it felt really good. Loved having it in my pocket. I would be the crazy person putting the extended battery in there too. So I was Rock Band unplugging left and right. But I love that thing. We didn't even talk about all the different color combinations. They had a lot of really good looking.
And there's another
Hannah Montana
PSP.
purple. Come on.
The 2000.
And that
No.
extra.
Go.
Well, there is a PSP 2000 as well.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about the Go. Is that on this list?
You
Should
fucking
be.
better be.
There
There
There it is. The PSP Go.
I mean, that.
Are we on to the PSP Go now?
Here we are.
Yeah.
S.
C.
S.
D.
So I,
S.
I wanted to put the PSP
C
at
or
B,
B?
because I wanted to put this at A. This is a
What?
great looking console.
Why?
No,
I
it's
C or
adored
B.
this little guy. God, ahead of its time,
I'm
of
B.
course. Let's talk about it. We're getting out there.
Look at this nub. Look at the placement of that nub. Can you imagine,
we've already
Andy
talked about
Cortez?
how the
Why we
nub
moved
doesn't
on
matter anymore.
From like the phones that do this, you know, like this is awful.
This is awful.
And what I hate the most
So
about
nice,
it is how
so
it looks
easy.
opened up.
Put it in your pocket, be ready to go.
It's a cool, okay
Gorgeous.
shape. It looks like a Vita when it's closed.
Fucking Metal Gear on this. You kidding
It looks
me?
like a PSP when it's closed. You open it up, this whole like uneven business of
Yeah.
I just don't like it.
I've also changed my mind, actually.
why?
I don't think this is an A because I forgot that this is the all digital one, right?
They were all, yes, all PSP goes were all digital.
No, but I'm saying like the PSP had the UMD and then this one didn't
All
have the UMD.
digital.
Fuck that.
But that's not about this. This
Yeah,
is
but
about
Well,
that's
we
solely
talked
on
about the
looks.
slots. We talked about the slots. We talked about ports. That is something
I
that
could
we've brought up
see
before.
that there wasn't a port on that one. You can't see there's no port on
I mean,
this
I think
you
it's
just
dumb.
make the
even
buttons
fucking
even
know.
smaller. Get the fuck out.
I
of
also
here.
really,
This little
you know
guy.
what?
I love this little guy.
you know what I hate about it?
C.
The empty slot above, like the empty space above the little nub.
Fucking Goldilocks
Yeah.
over here.
Yes.
There's too much on this PSP. There's too little on
You gotta
this
find a good
PSP.
balance. You gotta find a
And
balance.
also, this nub sucks. Absolutely.
It's
awful.
like the worst nub that we've ever had.
Somehow they made the PSP nub, which was already bad, somehow worse.
The 3DS nub was worse.
Oh, yeah, that was real
you're-
bad.
Well, I'm just talking about PlayStation.
Yep. So yeah, looking
Fuck
here,
the nub.
man.
So I'm saying B.
I go right where Barrett has it.
Yeah.
Above Game and Watch, under Neo Geo Pocket.
Fuck, you guys suck.
I would go above
Yeah.
Game Boy Advance. No, I'd go below Game Boy Advance,
You know
above
what,
Neo Geo
Tim,
Pocket.
I think
So three of us say C.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Tim, I'm with you on that. I like that placement before, but because I like the Neo Geo Pocket better, actually.
So where?
So where are the votes? Because I'd go again. I'd still vote S tier. Fuck all y'all. I don't care.
I would
That's
be
insane.
in between the Pocket Color and the Pocket. How do we feel
I
about
like
that?
this. I love
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Because I keep thinking about the Frost one with the purple buttons, and I have that image.
Remember,
still
there
up.
was a white PSP Go as well.
Oh, that changes
everything for him.
Cool. There we go.
The white one is pretty sick, though. Let's be honest. You know what it reminds you of? I used to sell a lot of Sony Xperia Go's, and it was like the one you could play. Stupid ass phone.
I'm gonna need a second for this other console that we're about to get to because.
Also, I don't think PSP 2000 is on here. Not that it matters.
It's not.
Yeah, it's not. So I wasn't able to.
I would argue that it's like that reminds me of like the DS Lite, DSi, where I'm like it's such an iterative thing. Still has to.
Saying this list is broken doesn't count.
It counts. I mean, you see.
Dan Matt says Greg was right. You're damn right.
Disagree.
I don't even know which one's going to be next. Like this is getting confusing. Looking at this list.
Is
it the Tiger Gizmodo?
Yes, I finally found a good picture.
Not like one of the websites.
Like, because this little JPEG I'm looking at is upsetting me.
Oh, that's not a game.
It's like
console.
roly poly oly, man.
That's an MP3 player. That's what Obama was using.
Why does it have little ears?
Did they go back in time and find this?
This sucks.
You want to say it on 3?
Good. Hold on. Can we look at the face buttons?
Gizmondo.
Look what the face buttons
Oh, I
are.
read that wrong too.
Yeah, no, that looks Mondo.
Oh, they're play, rewind, stop, and
Why is
forward.
stop on top like that? I hate this. All right, let's say it on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Hey.
Oh, F. Yeah.
Yeah, I
it's an
think
effer.
that is the. Can we bring the tier list up again? I want to see what I'm putting this under here.
Under game.com above N-Gage.
I think this is last, honestly. Like those face buttons are atrocious.
But here's the thing.
Oh, N-Gage's face
Still
buttons
only
look
4
great.
buttons. The N-Gage has a fucking million things.
Yeah, but at least it was like a phone, so you get it. You're like, okay, they're trying to go for that. This is like, what the fuck
What
am I
game were
looking
you
at?
playing? Oh, they did misspell it on the thing. What game are you playing on the Gizmondo? Is that a game device?
Apparently.
Is the N-Gage a game device?
It looks.
I mean, it had Tony
It
Hawk.
looks like an MP3.
Fair.
What
It had
game
Sonic.
did the
That's the
Gizmondo
bottom.
have?
That's the worst console we've seen.
All right, I vote last.
I vote second to last.
Second to last.
I think N-Gage looks better.
I would
Or, sorry,
put this.
worse.
I would put this all the way last.
There you go.
Got the votes.
Then, what order are we going in here?
The next thing I've got on my list here is.
Oh shit, the
Oh.
Neo Geo
Geo
X.
X.
Huh.
I kind of like
I
this.
fuck with this heavy.
I kinda like
However,
this.
I will never be a fan of the dual shoulder buttons being on the same.
You,
row.
yeah, I didn't
Sure,
catch
sure,
that.
sure.
And then look at the face buttons.
Yeah, I don't like those face
Yeah.
buttons. I don't like the clear plastic going on there. It just doesn't look.
And
it
also,
looks
this
different.
was
But it looks
released
classic.
I
in
like the clear plastic.
2012.
What?
It looks like it has that sort of like aging on it when it's been exposed too much.
Just sound and design. I like this one a lot, man.
Is this like one of those classic consoles?
Yeah.
Oh, like you know, like you
The
play.
Neo
to play
Geo X
throwback
is a
games?
hybrid video game console manufactured by Tomo, licensed by SNK Playmore. Information about the Neo Geo X was first reported. It is the first Neo Geo system to be released since the discontinuation of the brand in 2004 and the third Neo Geo handheld console. It features games that were popular on the original Neo Geo hardware and comes built in with 20 original Neo Geo games.
Yeah, I wish.
Additional titles were available on game cards.
I wish that they just kind of went with the other Neo Geo design and they just kind of plussed it up and made it modern. This does not seem like a modern console.
Oh my god, I disagree entirely.
But I think it looks
this
simple. I
looks
like
very
that.
cool.
Yeah,
yeah.
The logo looks awesome. The color design I think is great. I love the consistency of the transparency around the whole thing.
Top of C.
Top of C. But I'd also want to
I'm
see
also
C++.
top
Can I
of
see
C.
it? Can I see the?
Yeah, like I like the. I don't think they're trying to look for like a modern thing, right? Like obviously, I think this is trying to be a throwback console to harken back to the Neo Geo stuff. And I look at that, and it almost reminds me of looking at an Atari 2600, where I'm like, this has a classic look and feel to
The
it.
other angle in this thumbnail makes it look cooler to me. Because
Yeah.
the main photo that Baird brought up looked less attractive than this angle that it's in right here.
The amount of screen real estate and how well this takes up the
Yeah.
handheld and with lack of bezel, like I could even argue bottom B.
What's it called again?
the Neo Geo X.
Neo Geo X. Let me look for some other photo angles that could maybe entice me.
As of now, I would say like right below the Game Boy.
Damn, dude, this thing looks kind of really cool.
Dude,
and a
I
lot of
love
other-
this thing.
I would honestly put this.
That's sick.
Yeah, I kind of like it actually. Hold on.
I would go above the DSi.
Whoa.
Fuck it, I'm with you, dude.
Wow.
I mean, look at these.
I'm with you,
There's
man.
a lot of other cool photos of it.
How high can we get
yeah.
this little guy?
Yeah, looking at more angles, I tend to agree.
I'll be
I'm
right back. I need
interested.
to
I'm
pee.
interested in how big the screen is. I feel like that's kind of winning me over. But no, I think the B is the farthest I would go.
Keep going up.
No,
there.
no, no, no.
S plus plus.
Oh wait, this is really small.
Oh, it is really small.
Looks alone.
Uh-oh.
Have you seen it? Have you seen it on
Put
actually
hands
being
on it,
played?
Because I'm looking at it, it looks tiny, which is not bode
Andy, are
well.
you looking at this? It looks like it's real tiny. Look at this. Look at that. That's a tiny boy.
Oh,
Maybe that's just Andre the Giant playing.
yeah.
It's Big Show.
Maybe that's Great Khali. He loved
Yeah,
Neo
it looks
Geo X.
tiny.
It's not. Yeah.
I stand by top of C, but I don't have the votes. It sounds like.
I'm down for top of C.
Anybody else?
I think I'm sticking with C.
All right.
The
Top
top
of
is
C.
top of
Top
C.
of C. We got the votes. Good luck, everybody. Barrett, who's next?
Let's find out.
Bob says, I'm
Alrighty.
fairly sure Andre was dead by 2012.
You don't know that.
Died in 2012?
Beg to
I was
differ.
gonna say
Or by 2012.
could have played it in 2012.
Maybe he had a prototype before he
Early
died.
copy.
Here we go,
Long
everybody.
before 2012.
Let's have a real conversation about the PS Vita.
Sure. Love it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the PlayStation Vita. This is OLED version, which I think is important to call out.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll bring them both in here just to talk about it. If I know how I will be shouted down. I think the LED version looks better than the OLED version. I think just that bit of weight. You know what I mean? Because this is I think the original Vita is a chunky boy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then just that little bit of weight it lost for that next version. I know, obviously, we're talking about screen sizes or not screen sizes. I apologize. Screen quality and stuff. That is a different conversation and so on and so forth. But I always liked as somebody who's not drawn just by the visual pop of an OLED. I like the form factor in the LED. But that's an argument for when we get there. But they're going around.
I mean, I've just always loved the difference in materials from where the little thumbsticks are going up to where the buttons are. I like if both of these or one of them both ended up in S rank, I would not be mad. I love the look of these little things.
This thing ain't S rank. It just simply isn't. I can see that it is high. I can you bring up the tier list?
Yeah.
Yeah, show and tell.
Also, I guess it's worth pointing out just for the way this list is playing out, unless I'm wrong, I'm looking at it. It looks like only one Vita is on there.
Okay.
So I would say, even though this is weird, we should we're rating both Vitas at once. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Vita as a brand in this one?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, cool.
And if we're doing
Then
that,
I say for sure S tier.
I would say yeah, S tier as well.
I go bottom of A on this one. There's just so many bad design decisions with this when it comes to the touchpad, when it comes to the tiny ass buttons, the nub's not feeling great. Like it's better than the PSP. The oval buttons aren't great. Like there's so many issues with this thing.
It just looks bad fucking ass.
It looks badass, man.
It just looks so good.
fucking
Yeah.
badass.
You see
I
a
agree
kid with
about
that
the
in
tiny
school, you're like,
buttons.
damn, that dude's got a rich family.
I'm conflicted, right? Because by looks, S tier. But now we're bringing in feel, apparently. Now we're bringing in the actual
only when
touch
it's
of
going
it.
to take me down, you know?
And I'm like,
Dude,
I
this
can
thing
It's
looks
just so sexy.
good.
It's just
It is
so
really sexy.
You're
Hold it
so
again,
right.
Hold it again, Andy. Hold it again.
PSP,
Like
baby.
the non OLED version. I agree with Greg that the non OLED version looks better, and I think a lot of it is the taking away of the silver framing and just having the singular kind of curve where the buttons are all intertwined. And talk about functionality. You can put a little keychain on there.
No, you
That little-
can't.
Yeah.
That's the smallest
Put on-
fucking gap ever.
It's
That's
a-
pointless.
it's-
and the whole reason it's there, right?
Oh, no,
for
I'm
little
saying you
dongles
put
and
it on
stuff.
your keys, like a
Little
string.
charms.
Little
It's easy to do on the PSP.
I actually don't like the 2000 version of the second version because it looks like more like a toy. I'm high A.
The font at the bottom, I'm the type that like I don't care how small the buttons are. They feel good. They look good.
Yeah,
This
I
thing
never-
is incredible.
I never had a problem with the button size. And that's not to take away Tim's criticism or whatever. So that's just never one of mine. So I agree 100% of like, what a fucking missed opportunity to put the touchscreen on there. What a fucking bonehead reason to put 3G in there. Like they did so many stupid shit trying to chase mobile at the time that really fucked them.
But does it
Oh,
look
yeah.
cool?
it looks amazing.
And
That's
it
what we're
looks
talking about. And that's why it's
incredible.
S tier.
That's an S rank right
That's
there.
an S rank for me too.
There you go. We have the votes.
As we have the votes.
Now above or below?
Not
Below.
a goddamn
Below.
chance.
Above.
it's
Below.
the SP. No
Yeah,
way.
No, SP stays king.
Gotta be below.
SP's awesome.
I'll go below, yeah.
Now I assume the next is the Nintendo 3DS.
You would assume correctly. Tim.
There we go.
Here's a Nintendo 3DS
pass that
non-XL
around
version.
to the class.
That is Leanne's pink one.
I'm gonna go little bitch. That's what I say about this one. Toss it into C.
It's funny because I feel
No
like
one's
this
asking
is.
you to prom. I'll go.
It's
I thought you were talking about Leanne's.
I'm familiar.
God. Anyways, back to 3DS. Leanne, I love you. You know that.
It's a similar situation to the original DS design, where it's like I get what you're going for, but the further iterations are just so much better.
Yeah.
It's way better than the original DS though. So wherever that is, I want to put this above it.
Original DS, is in D.
No, yes. I don't think this is.
That's why I tossed
I would
it
say
C.
B even.
Yeah, I would say this is a B.
I think
B
Yes.
I think it's a B. That laser
over the original Game Boy.
That laser blue is so fire. That laser blue looks so good.
I would go under the original Game Boy, but I'm not mad at this placement of it.
I think this is bottom of B.
C.
Because I also it has the little analog stick, but it was like I don't feel like that was not that
That
bad.
stick sucked.
I know,
good.
but it was fine.
I just don't think this has the flaws the original Game Boy had, right? Like, when I think the big things that bring Game Boy down to C are like the screen being the weird color, and then also just the brick nature of it. I think 3DS doesn't really have like any major flaw. Like, I could see the nub of like the joystick thing or whatever, but like that's really the only.
Well,
flaw
so
I've
here's
seen.
the thing though.
But it
like,
looks cool being
Pop
there.
this thing out. Let me see it
This
again.
is
Like, I feel like the Game Boy, it's like the green screen, at least the colors go together. Like, that is such a, like, when we're talking about looks and design, like, they had something going. So much of this was just boring, but, like, this raised situation here and, like, the size of the screen and these buttons feeling like absolute dog shit.
I agree
Like,
with
the
that
Game Boy doesn't have any of those problems. And, like,
feel
also,
that.
like, look how much wasted space there is with the bezel on the top, man. I don't know.
What's the color situation on the original 3DS?
Some were cool, and then there was a lot of, like, ooh, what do you
Yeah,
think?
because I'm not a big fan of this color.
All right.
I mean, I like pink, but like I don't the specific design of it.
I mean, it was like that laser blue, the first one that Barrett brought up is the one that I always wanted, and I never got it. It's very sad.
So let's do the vote here. I vote where it's at.
I vote B. But yeah, we can figure out that later.
Nintendo
Where this is.
3DS.
I would vote where it's at, C.
You're B?
I think Tim's might have persuaded me. I think I'm gonna stick to C actually.
Damn. I guess we're at C.
Andy?
I would go. Yeah, I can't put it above the original Game Boy.
So there we go. Next up, we have the 3DS.
Nope.
The 2DS.
Yep.
Nintendo 2DS.
And before I show this to y'all,
Bioshock.
I need to preface this.
Here we go.
If this isn't in fucking F tier by the end of this conversation, I will quit.
So everybody,
Damn.
I have a 2DS. I enjoyed my 2DS with the 2 games that I played for 4 hours each on it.
me hold this.
You can
God,
play it.
there's a blast.
It
It looks like it's screaming out, "Help me! Kill me! Kill me!"
It looks like such a like. This is a dev kit. You know what I mean? Like,
This
It's
is an
awful
F.
to hold.
wait, you
It's
shipped that version? That's like what they say. Like, oh
is
fuck,
not-
no, I was the one that produced.
The 2DS is not awful to hold. It is not.
is.
No, it's not. I played a lot of games on it. It was. It
said
was
4.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, you said 4
I
games.
did too.
A lot of games.
I
at
played
least
a
used
lot
my
of games
2DS
for 4
months.
hours each. For
He
maybe.
was playing long games. You're playing Persona.
It's a great doorstop.
Stylist.
It looks like a great doorstop. Yeah.
I don't think it's. I don't think it's an F.
This is an F.
This is the easiest
it's
F of
the
all
easiest
time.
fucking
What do you
F.
think it is then?
I think it's a C.
Let's take
No,
away
you're insane.
the clamshell design that we all love and turn it into this disaster.
Look at
the different sizes
Game Boy.
screens.
Fucking
It's fine.
mess, disaster.
It's
of a fucking
like
handheld.
it's not only ugly as is, but it's ugly after they've popped the fuck off in the past with so many amazing things, and then they made this. And it's like, wow.
Well,
If you
the
told
plot.
me this was like a Fisher Price thing, I would be like, oh, of course.
And that's
If you
kind
told
of
me
what
this
it
was
was
a Gerber thing,
pushing
I'd
for,
be like, yeah.
right? Am I wrong here? Like that's kind of
Yeah,
the audience
100%.
what this was for.
It's for
like, hey,
babies.
this is for children.
babies.
But babies don't have good design
or
sense.
people who didn't have the money to get a 3DS.
Like again, I don't look at these Fisher Price toys and I'm like, oh yeah, this is better design than my new iPad or whatever, right? Like,
The thing is, I don't
think this is an F.
It's not
That's what I'm pushing for. I look at that F tier and I'm like, that's not this.
It's not the functionality that I don't care, or that I'm like really harping on. I don't care that they took a clamshell design and made it a single thing. It's just what they chose to go with looks ugly as shit. Like,
Here's my thing. If it's top of F, I'm fine. It just needs to be an F.
I think it's a legitimized handheld, right? Like I think the reason for it to exist is valid. You know, I'm not hating on the idea itself. I just hate looking at it.
I mean, I
don't
hate
wanna
this
see
thing
it
so
again.
much. I would go bottom because this is a Nintendo product. This is not a Tiger Gizmodo. This is a fucking Nintendo DS product that was many iterations into this thing.
Yeah.
This thing is an
I hold it?
atrocity.
No, I have one question.
And the
for Tim
colors
first.
suck too.
Shit.
Tim.
The quality of it.
I'm inside Roger's Nintendo
Oh
2DS
man,
here.
about to get
And
exposed.
I'm inside his stats here for how many of his
shit.
games he
Get
played and stuff
exposed.
like that. All right.
Fuck, he's got me.
No, I'm not. Like, there's one like, okay, you barely played this game.
Yeah, expose me.
Pokemon X
Yeah.
is Roger Picorni's most played 2DS game. How many hours do you think he's logged into Pokemon X on this unit?
1.
20 minutes.
I'm gonna say 6
What
hours.
did you see already?
2 hours. No, I haven't seen it.
6 hours.
6 hours? 188 hours in 22 minutes.
My brother uses console a lot. Yeah. That's what
Of
happened.
course,
there.
the
Yeah,
brother.
my
The brother's
uses it.
always logged
Oh, you
in.
should have led with that.
Yeah.
How many hours has he played Ocarina of Time 3D?
Oh yeah.
30 minutes.
You're playing
4 hours.
100 hours.
50 hours.
45 minutes.
Yeah, I lost my friend Henry Posada's cartridge of that game.
My
and I
apologies. My condolences.
Can't find it.
Oh.
Can't find it.
All right, sorry.
All right.
Where's this going in
Let me
F?
hold it.
This is not enough. This is
This
not
is an
enough.
F. So,
You're
no, we've all
going
agreed
against
it's
4
F.
people who thinks it's enough.
I'll let you guys go. Be wrong side of history, right? With this thing.
I don't hate holding it. I will
Yeah,
say.
it does not feel,
Really?
when you feel this thing. Like actually press the buttons.
But then,
on it.
like, try-
I
But
played
again, you look at it,
exclusively.
you don't say this encourages me to play.
Trying to get to the bottom.
This
buttons, though,
encourages
is
me to
insane.
learn how to skate.
I would go
Like,
below
if I
the
wanna hit
Lynx
this home
Gen
button-
2.
Here's the other thing too. An important thing is DS games are really fucking ugly, and 3DS games are ugly, and
Yeah.
you need to get them in the right angle. This thing does not put things where you need to be looking.
I lied. I hate holding this thing.
Yeah.
Like once I started
100 hours of
once I
Pokemon X
once
and
I
let me
started
know.
using the D-pad more than the nub, which like a lot of handheld games I feel like
Sure.
are going for D-pad. This does not feel
me
right.
feel it.
It feels so uneven. Like I got my right hand, I'll be up here. My
Where are
left
we
hand's all the way
putting it
down
in
here.
F?
This is perfect. I don't know what you
I
guys
say
are talking
top
about.
of F.
Has a little sleep button right there. Come on, you don't need to close it. You don't need to close it. You don't need the double shell.
I'm going below game.com,
Fuck you. No way.
above the N-Gage.
Like, honestly, if they just did the thing where they took away the bottom screen entirely and, like, shuffled the buttons, I could see it looking but it's just a slab. You know? Like,
It's a beautiful slab. You're so mean to slabs. But it had a 3D camera.
let's look at your photos in the camera.
Oh shit.
Andy?
I would put it, I'm down to put it at the very bottom.
Damn, hold on. So we're split as shit then. I go very bottom. Greg goes
Top.
So
I'm above N-Gage.
then that's where it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boom.
And my D has to count for something. Put it above the Tiger.
I think it said C.
Or C. Well, yeah, my C definitely has to count for something. Yeah, right there. Perfect.
I'll put it above the Tiger.
Thank you so
for
much.
Roger.
Thank you so much.
Wait, hold on. Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna individually look up a picture of the tiger.
No. What?
Tiger.
Greg, you got to step in and be like, the rankings are there. The rankings
Barrett
are
dropped the tile. He dropped the tile.
You dropped the tile.
Although, let me tell you, Bless, when we did the console ranking, there was a couple moments where Greg knew Barrett was on his side, so he was like, Barrett's the tiebreaker, and Barrett voted with him, so he was like, there it is. And then when Barrett wasn't on his side, he was like, put it on the poll. We got to
That's what he does.
Democracy works in weird ways, guys.
gerrymandering the podcast.
Next up.
If you let me have this, you'll never have to
the
vote in a
count.
handheld ranking again.
Greggy Mandering.
The next one I have, I was kind of hazy on the order of when these released, but I have at least the 3DS XL.
Yeah, which I have one right here.
Yeah.
This is
love this
Lance's
guy.
prime possession. Do not break it. Do not scratch
Love
it.
that.
It
I love
is
that.
hacked to hell, but it's great.
I love this
Jared.
guy.
Allegedly.
I have a question for you. This is a little bit weird, but I feel like if it would be possible to pull up the 3DS XL, the 2DS XL, and the new 3DS XL together.
I don't know if I can do them together, but I can at least.
Just so we can switch, because I feel like
that picture has to exist somewhere online.
we need to. If we're tiering these, we got to think about the subtle differences that we're working with here, because that's where we're at.
Oh, they made a 2DS XL?
Yeah, I have.
Oh,
that.
never mind. Yeah, yeah.
I
my
have
shit
that
sucks.
still to this day, and that one I do like.
The 2DS XL looks so good.
I took it back. I didn't realize that existed. Fuck my thing. Fuck my
Jesus
thing.
Christ.
I mean, I love most of these, honestly. I think this is the XL? No, this is the regular one.
No, this is XL.
XL.
Shit.
Yeah. 3DS XL.
Because, like, I was so enamored, Tim, when that one came out with the blue buttons. I was like, holy shit, that's so clean looking. And I would put that at the top of whatever it is we're talking about. But on the other version with the 3 buttons on the bottom, I love that look.
So that's my thing. I do not like the new 3DS XL that has the second analog
Same.
nub. The raised touchscreen, not a big fan of, and the top screen doesn't look like it takes up enough of the top. The 2DS XL and the OG 3DS XL are
these are
fantastic.
Oh, they're so good.
They're fantastic. And I would even say this 2DS XL, while getting rid of the 3D functionality, the buttons look and feel, the color design, I think this might be the top one for me.
Because here's the thing, like still using this thing in 2024, like I use this for Zelda in review, playing a bunch of like Game Boy games and stuff. Like it still feels good to use today, which is impressive.
Yep.
Good about that.
Dang. This is like either
Shout out to Nintendo for randomly announcing this on like a Thursday night,
like
in
what
like 2018 or some shit.
what I'm seeing presently. This beautiful little black clamshell with the blue buttons, super neon blue.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a whole lot I could say that isn't S for me.
Now, here's the thing, Andy.
Uh-oh.
If you closed it, I think it might take it down.
Let's see it closed.
Can we
Let me see the new
top?
Nintendo 2DS XL from the back, please.
So are we ranking all these together?
we have another
No,
back
it's just-
request.
How do you see it from the back?
There's
have
just
another-
like subtle differences
You
that
have
it
it
was
as
like
back.
helpful.
I'm using my back view.
We have another back request from
Because,
Blast
Andy,
right here.
the top, like it closed, it looks like a toy. Like it doesn't look that great.
Shit.
I forgot which one I had, but I had a cool like Mega Man sticker on it.
And then there's
Here's my thing. I think it looks a little bit in between a toy
No.
and like a little like
Briefcase.
a little Switch suit.
It looks
briefcase
like
kinda
the
thing.
case you put your handheld into.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that.
I think this takes it down.
That
for
might
my-
take it down to an A for me, but I still love this goddamn
So what
thing.
are we doing? Are we ranking all these at the same time? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, and then there's also the new 3DS that we need to add in there as
Okay.
well.
So should we start with the regular 3DS, the one I have right here, or 3DS XL, right here?
The 3DS XL will be an A for me.
Can we see the tier list?
Something about those 3 buttons at the bottom, Roger. I just love the placement,
Yeah.
the size of them.
They're good.
I mean,
Oh god, there's so many.
what doesn't make it
handhelds
an
left.
S?
Oh, no,
Andy?
those are
Let's have that
consoles, never mind.
conversation. Have a feel with this one.
I think what doesn't make it an S is, I mean, maybe I could look up like extra color combinations, but it isn't doing anything inspiring in terms of like having a cool little splash of something here. To really,
get it.
But it's like, it's great.
To me,
it's
this
amazing.
is like the refined version of everything that I loved about the DS, and that's why I would give this specific. Well, I guess I don't know. I got to figure out which one I like the most, but I would give one of these an S tier.
I'm with you. Where this thing is really, really great. I feel like no way I'm putting it above the PSP, but it's
What
I
are we
would
talking about right now?
the 3DS XL.
Okay.
I put this as under the PSP
I'm not mad at it. I would have argued for S tier, but
because look how big
That's a good
that top
placement.
screen is, man. It's
Yeah.
a thing of beauty. And
feels
also
good.
the colorways that this thing comes in, like that, the cobalt blue, it's very similar to the GBA SP. It's nice, and the red's hot
the
too.
back looks good. Look at that back.
oh,
It's a
Why
nice
does it
little
say
back.
LL?
Oh, it's from Japan.
Oh,
I would put the 3DS XL in A rank. Yeah, right where it's at right now.
Yeah.
Below the PSP, above the Game Boy Color.
A rank for sure. I honestly could be convinced to put in front of the PSP.
Wow.
Sanity.
I'm down for that.
But
think-
I mean, it's just a good looking guy.
It is.
for me, A rank below PSP.
Okay.
All right. Then the next one is the new 3DS, which we haven't pulled up a big picture of yet.
Okay, let me go.
That's
Find
just
that.
a-
Yeah.
There's one with the different
when I was
colors?
gathering pictures, there were so many DSs that I lost track.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
I did drop a picture that's like a bunch of them in one picture.
Man, the Super Nintendo
Yeah, that is cool.
color scheme one looks so fire. And I know Tim doesn't like the multicolored buttons. I've always been a sucker for that. That's why I like the Super Famicom more than the original Super Nintendo. It's really
Remember
cool.
the new
It's really
3DS
cool
XL?
looking.
New 3DS generally.
I don't like this white though.
This is the one that you could change out the casing for. Like it was a freaking flip phone from the 90s.
A lot of bezel actually. Now that I'm
Yeah,
looking at
I'm
more.
not a bezel boy. Hate my bezels.
Yeah.
Why were there so many 3DSs?
Because they be printing money,
What are
dude.
we doing?
Yeah.
They be making that money. Yeah, I put this with the original 3DS.
Wow.
I mean, it's pretty much the same thing.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking original DS. You're right. Yeah, no, I'm with that. I'm with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with it.
I put it above, though, just because.
Color.
Bigger.
Actually,
It's
no,
newer.
I wouldn't, because I like the blue, and he makes a good point. That launch 3DS blue is really nice.
I'm down for that too.
Sure.
I'm down with it.
Cool.
Too many 3DS.
How many fucking 3DSs do we have left here?
Oh, we got 2 left. We
Okay,
got the
new
new
3DS
3DS
XL.
XL and the 2DS XL.
This is the one that added the little nub and it raises the bottom screen again, which I don't like. But yeah, I'd put this above the 3DS. Yeah, right there. Under the Game Boy, above the 3DS. Because I do like the big screen.
Sure.
I'm out of my depth.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point, I was ignoring so many of these. I defer to Tim, where
God,
they all ran together on
Yeah,
me.
we believe in Tim.
I believe in Tim.
Then next up we have
I
the
really
2DS
hated
XL.
that top you showed me
Oh,
on
I
this
like
guy.
the top.
I hated it.
Now here's my thing. I'm torn. No. But I'm torn between the 2DS XL and the 3DS XL. I think overall there's pros. It's not so much cons. There's different pros. Because I'm with Andy. Those 3 buttons on the bottom of the 3DS XL are very nice.
Very good.
But
See, I don't love the 3 buttons on the bottom, and I think like the 2DS XL like cleans things up, and you know what? Takes out the 3D that wasn't that great anyway.
But where the 3DS XL gets points is the uniformed going up when you open up the clamshell and seeing the curves when you open up the 2DS XL, like the bottom portion of it, those curves, and then the top screen seeing those curves. Like, I love that the 3DS XL is just one straight line, and seeing that kind of breakup reminds me of what I didn't like about the PSP Go. When you open it up and it just looks kind of uneven.
Yeah. The 2DS XL almost looks like it does not feel like one unified thing. It almost feels like a mock-up.
Yep.
like looking at it, like it looks like, oh, this is what the future of gaming is going to look like. And I was like, I
And
guess so.
you know
Yeah,
what?
buttons look
It was
so
it was real, and the buttons feel great.
yeah,
I'm not at that.
2DS is in the right spot, I think, right there. I think it's the best.
I think
DS
it's below
there
the
is.
3DS XL.
I'm putting it above 3DS XL.
I think it goes above.
Okay.
There you go. And then,
Give me a second.
Yep.
Got a lot of images. Here we go.
here we go. So,
Oh.
there are
Let's have a
3
conversation.
remaining things for us to rank today.
Wait,
The,
really?
the Nintendo Switch, the Nintendo Switch Lite, and the Switch OLED.
Steam Deck?
What? Steam Deck?
Oh,
I got a
Playdate?
bunch
Oh,
more.
for-
I got
oh,
the
okay.
Evercade
Sure.
handheld.
We probably should-
Playdate.
Yo,
the
okay.
Playdate.
Okay, oh, you're right.
That is in the thumbnail.
You're right.
You can't change it.
Can't change the thumbnail now.
Too late.
It's impossible down technology.
The Nintendo Switch, I think at its time when it came out, I would have been higher on it. But the reality of looking at this thing now and looking how fucking thick those shitty bezels are,
This is B.
B.
B for bezel.
B for bezel.
B.
But am I wrong that we don't have the OLED on here?
No, we have it.
Okay, I don't see it on mine. Oh, there it is. You're right. Thank you. I appreciate you.
can
I
we
agree
bring up
with
the tier list? I want to see where we're rocking with the Bs.
I think with the DSIs, I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
I would put this below both of the DSIs.
Really? I'll put it above both the DSIs.
I would put it in the middle of the DSi.
Wow.
Right in the middle.
See,
I put it above them.
A little DSi sandwich.
Who says above?
Because there's a conversation to be had. Because like we got to bring in colorways, and those Joy Cons,
Yeah.
the different types of colors you can
Yeah.
combine with the Joy Cons, I
Yeah.
feel like add a lot.
You're not wrong.
That I feel
You're
like
not
could bump it
wrong.
up
That
to
lemon
an A.
yellow.
But I also think that the DSi, that all solid white, like it works so well that you don't even need other options.
Because like right now, where my mind is at with the Switch models are Switch A, Switch Lite B, Switch OLED S.
Whoa.
I feel like that's appropriate
We'll have that
if
conversation.
we're gonna split up the switches. I'll just throw that out there.
I'm okay with this.
I
being
like
here.
where this is at.
I'm okay with this.
little DSi sandwich.
So if you're an
let's
audio
rock with it.
listener, that means it's going into B between DSi XL and DSi.
Let's do it.
There we go.
Okay.
Next up, the Switch Lite.
I like this
I
little guy.
fucking loved this.
This
thing.
is an
I love
A.
this little guy.
I
Yeah.
wish I cared more about the Switch that I would have got it. You know what I mean? Like it came out, I was like, I don't need another Switch. I don't need a second Switch. But I would have, like, as somebody who only plays their Switch handheld, like it would have been. This is one of those if they would have like given me that option earlier or whatever, I would have got on board with that.
5 colorways.
Yeah.
They're all delightful to look at.
And it
They're,
is.
they're delightful, but I don't
Here
think
we
any are great.
No, I'm with you. I mean, I think it's like A great still, though. Like, I just like the form factor. I think it looks balanced. It looks like Nintendo knew what they were doing here and didn't have a whole lot of indecision of what
Yeah.
they were trying to pull off.
And this feels like a handheld of my youth, right? Like it feels like this is a kid would pick this up and play it, and that's what this is made for. And people are like, "This looks cheap." I get that. That's kind of the vibe.
But it doesn't feel cheap. It
Yes.
looks like a handheld
It's
of your
super
use, but it
solid.
plays so much more
Yes.
solid. And like the D-pad is a major
proper D-pad,
step up
yeah.
from the joy pads. Like, yeah, the
Oh, that's
Joy
true.
Cons. Like this, I love mine.
This is-
I do think that like while the bezel looks better here because it's the color instead of just being black, I still think that there's like a better use of the real estate for the screen, and also it not being OLED is a major problem. But
I think if they
agree,
went
A.
with, I think if they went with black buttons, it'd be like close to an S for me. But I would put this in an A.
Y'all putting this above the OG Switch.
Yeah.
With the Joy-Cons.
for sure.
But I mean,
Yeah,
we're gonna talk
dude.
about another Switch in a second.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. It doesn't sit right with me.
But here's the thing: is like you can make the Joy-Con argument for the OLED, which we're about to do in a little bit here. But like the
better
thing
D-pad.
that brings the OG Switch down is the bezel, man.
This also has a bezel. I get that it's the
The
same
bezel
color,
looks way
but
better
like,
though. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a unified.
I don't think the OLED being so much of a step forward means that the Switch, the OG, automatically goes below the light. But hey,
I would- Yeah.
I'd throw it up behind the PSP.
I think that
Yeah.
I'd put it behind the 3DS.
I'd go
family.
below the Game Boy Pocket.
I'm with Greg. I would put it what you said behind
Behind
the
the
PSP.
PSP, so-
That's where I'm at.
All right. So and then we don't have the votes though, right? So what was yours?
Bless,
Tim?
where are you at?
I mean, I guess if we're committed to A, then I'm putting it below color.
So then, yeah, that'd be where it
I think
lands
that's where
then.
it lies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Boom.
A
Audio
rank.
listeners, A rank behind the Game Boy Color, above the Game Boy Pocket, the Nintendo Switch Lite.
All right, now for a curveball.
Oh, the
Whoa.
Evercade!
The fuck?
I don't even know
I
the
don't
fuck
know
this
what
is.
the fuck
Yeah, what the fuck is
From
this?
Blaze Entertainment. But that's great. Just look at it.
What are
Just
those
visuals.
buttons?
Just
What
go.
do the buttons even
Shush.
say?
They say
is that a
you,
U?
Knave.
Is there a U button?
It says
Is that a P?
it says ooh yeah.
Is that a D? What?
I love like that red kind of line
like
go
that.
I was
through.
gonna say.
I'd go C.
I go C also.
Yeah. I don't have to say that. I don't
I
even
can
know.
see bottom of B.
I don't even know if
I
it's
need to see
real. I don't
another-
know if Barrett's
I
like
need a
punking us.
secondary picture actually. It's
I
called
don't
the
know about
Evercade.
that. That's
It's,
a D.
it's out here.
That might be a D if I look at another picture. Hold on.
No, come on.
Ow.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, that's under the Game Boy Micro.
Where was that?
I think a D.
In
Oh,
D?
yeah.
Whoa,
That's
D.
right.
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa,
No, that's
whoa.
I love
crazy.
the color, the orange and white though.
You can't put this
It's all right.
below the SNK Pocket. Look at the SNK Pocket.
Yeah, but
That
like
goes
the
above the
SNK,
PSP Go.
the SNK
Okay, don't get
Pocket analog stick. I'm like, oh, I want to touch that. The freaking Blaze, whatever the hell. It's like that thing
Blaze
looks like
Entertainment shows so
mush
much fun.
garbage.
Blaze.
We're just going off the looks. Though,
We're looking
man.
off. Yeah, we're going off the looks.
It looks like shit.
And I look at this. and I'm like,
it looks mushy.
It looks like a C rank, yeah.
So
I
like
feel good about this.
Bottom of C.
bottom of C.
Yeah,
Above Pocket.
Above PSP Go.
No.
The more I look at
Above
PSP Go, the
Pocket.
more I'm like, what are we doing
You're
here?
a psycho.
What are we
All
doing?
right, I'll put it here.
Love you. Thank
I
you.
love the Game & Watch though.
Barrett's dropped the tile. It's over.
He did.
I did. It's over. All right. Well, if you love the Game & Watch, you have another opportunity with the Game & Watch 2020.
Oh, I forgot about this.
It's a
See, this is what I'm talking
This
about.
cute little
here.
sumbitch right here.
Yeah, it
Great.
is.
Yeah.
Cute little guy.
I like this one.
I like it.
Design's great. I do think that the B and A being horizontally perfect is not ideal. And you know the NES controllers are that way, but I do think that takes away just a little bit. But just looks wise, like yeah, this thing, the colors are great and it's very, very unique.
There's
Bottom
nothing
B.
inoffensive.
I'm
I
feeling
would
low
say.
B.
Yeah, bottom B.
Yeah,
Bottom B. It
yeah.
was good.
I'd go below Neo Geo X. and
Actually,
C.
I would too, Andy. I'm with you.
Whoa.
So,
I'd go below No More
Greg?
Game Boy. Actually,
really?
I'd go below New 3DS. The more and more I look down, the more and more I look down.
No,
Look at the- look
I
at
go
the
after Neo
3DS.
Geo X.
I mean, I'm not mad
Look
anywhere.
at the bezel in this
B or
sucker.
C tier. I'm not mad about anywhere you put it.
Badass bezels.
Like him
See,
both.
I like.
Yeah.
I'd put it. I would put
nasty
Game Boy in
woman.
front of it. So there you
I
go.
could buy that. I could buy
Okay,
that.
Game
actually.
Boy, Game & Watch 2020, new 3DS XL.
There we go.
Okay.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's fucking go.
There we go.
OLED
Oh,
Switch.
There we go.
Oh,
Sexy.
S tier.
S tier.
it's S tier, man.
And even just with the
Yeah.
default color.
Yep.
God.
When
dang.
when you're that confident that you can just put out default color and have it be white after you had, hey, let's be fucking mismatch fun. It's like, dude, you know what the fuck you were doing. This thing is S tier,
I'm putting above Vita easily.
above Vita, baby.
How do we feel about compared
No.
to SP?
No. SP is like the pinnacle handheld console. And I love the OLED, but it can never beat the SP.
It's above SP for me.
Wow.
I'd go below Vita. At S still.
Bless.
I honestly would put it above SP.
Yeah,
It's rough.
It's
It's
dude,
rough.
it's sexy, dude.
I think the SP is sexy too.
It
So,
is.
like,
It is.
Like, this is hard for me, but like, the reality is, every time I hold my Switch or turn it on, I'm like, I love how this thing looks.
But-
It's
Yeah, dude.
at number one.
Also,
baby. It's
let's
number
have a
one.
real conversation with your whole trying to find different Joy-Cons and
Yeah.
all that stuff. It's like the actual ergonomic feel of the Switch.
Yeah, but I don't think that the GBA SP is any better than that.
Yeah.
Like,
Sure.
My problem isn't so much the ergonomic feel as much as it is the fucking shitty ass little tiny ass buttons. I hate tiny buttons, and Joy-Cons all have tiny
I mean,
buttons.
you had an issue with the Vita and their tiny buttons.
I do, but the Vita.
I mean, all these things have tiny buttons.
Yeah.
yeah, well, the
Not
PSP doesn't. Everybody. Yeah, number
Just wanna
one.
put it out
Number
there.
one.
Number one.
I would have never expected that going into
Really?
today. That would be number one. I like it though.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
I
number
just
three.
hate
I mean, when you
bezels,
remove the
man.
bezel, things change. Oh, man,
right.
shout out to the Playdate.
I love
Here's
it.
where things
Okay.
get fucking crazy.
Shout out to the Playdate.
I'm gonna say something that might be wild
Ah,
here.
shit.
I think this is S tier. Whoa.
No backlight.
The backlight
That's a
does
huge
fuck it
deal.
up.
That's
the
the only-
backlight was like one of my key criticisms when God, I can't talk anymore. I'm hungry.
This is A to me.
Incredible design.
I'm going A.
If we're just talking looks and we're just talking the design, like the color choice, like the how angular it all is, the like shape of the screen, and like this
metal
freaking,
crank?
like yeah,
I
all
hate
this
the
stuff. Like,
crank. I'm gonna be
I
honest.
love
I hate the
love
crank
it,
too.
dude.
But
Little
like,
goofy
you
little
look at
thing,
this,
I
and you
love
get
it.
what it's trying to do
I still use this as the clock on my desk at home.
because it has such a great design.
Yeah.
you want it.
I like
in
looking
your
at
room.
it.
S fucking tier. Put
I
it
think
up
it's bottom
there.
of S.
That's
Yeah,
it.
I
Actually,
agree
no.
with that.
Fuck that. It's below the PSP. I will not put it above the PSP.
I would say it's the top of it.
It's below 2DS XL, but A rank.
Actually, yeah, you know, you're right. Actually, even
It's
I go-
below Game Boy Pocket.
You know what? I got it. S. Bottom
Yeah.
of S.
Yeah, I
Has
said bottom of
character.
S too, so it's wherever
Has
the votes are
personality.
for wherever else.
So for people who wanted an A rank, where did you want it?
I want at the top of it.
The
I-
screen isn't centered. Like that's
I
should be
guess.
enough to be bothered by.
But it's so small.
To take it down
It's
from
so
the S.
small. You're not noticing that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't notice that until Andy said it out loud.
Yeah.
But I think that works with the ergonomics of you playing on the side. Like it
Yeah.
balances it out a bit. But I mean, I wouldn't even argue with that high though. I'd put the Playdate above the Game Boy Color underneath the 3DS XL.
I think with the two
Dude.
S's and then where Andy wanted it lower, I think it lands here.
A DS sandwich.
Well,
DS
DS
I like that.
Nice
I
little
like that.
Playdate.
I'm
there.
okay with this.
Boom.
All right, we're almost there, y'all. We got two more.
What?
What is left? Steam Deck.
Ah, right. Oh,
Oh.
shit, get the fuck out of here.
No,
I love the idea of this.
Yeah.
I think that's like, oh, this is what the future of handhelds should be. But it's like, no, you see the Switch, you see this. Like, no, fuck that.
Here's the problem. The idea of, hey, it's just a console controller with a clamshell type screen. Like this should be ideal,
Yeah.
but not this console controller,
No.
not that bezel. This to me is F tier.
This looks like it came out 15 years ago.
Yeah.
This is
You know?
bottom of D tier because it doesn't revolt me. It just is like, oh, you're wrong place, wrong time.
It looks so
right?
over designed. Like I feel like this
Yeah.
is bad design. I think that it is worse than D.
Yeah.
I think with how
I'm down for the
clean
top,
their
though.
GPUs look, this looked like somebody else.
But this was also like a long time ago. This is not like, you know what I mean? Like this is, what was this? I don't know when this was.
Yeah,
released.
let's
This
say
was
what
like,
year was
I mean,
this?
this was like 2012, right? Or 2015?
It's still a while.
No,
Like,
15? Jesus, really? Oh, wait, I'm thinking maybe.
Aren't
I'm
these
thinking
in
the other
order of
one. I'm thinking the
release?
other one.
no,
You're
the
right.
PC stuff is what I
Gotcha.
believe.
It just looks like it was designed out of time. Like they thought of the design in the late 90s.
2013.
Top F
Of
is
the
where I'm
time,
at.
I think this is D.
I'd go.
Again, it looks like a game machine. It looks
Yeah.
like something. I look at the rest of. I'm with you. D sounds good, and I look at the rest of D, and I'd rather play this than these. So I'm tossing it.
I'd put this below the Lynx Gen 2 and F.
I say top of D as well. I'm with Greg.
Top F.
I'm bottom D or top F, either one.
Top of the world.
So middle of D.
What?
No, I'm saying middle of D because I'm.
Oh,
Then
yeah.
we've got two people who are in F. Blessing is top F, bottom D, and then 2D.
Yeah.
Am I the
I
tiebreaker?
feel like that's more here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Or
Either there or-
No way. There's no way. It doesn't go
Yeah.
up.
Bottom
If people,
D is what I'm
multiple
saying.
people
Why
have
the
it
fuck
a
are
tier
people
below.
writing for the link so hard? It is so bizarre.
The colors
Bring up
go
a bigger
nice,
picture of
man.
the links again.
No, I'm not looking at no links. I can't
like
look
that
at links
links.
ever again.
All right.
They've been paid off by big Lynx.
final one, y'all.
There it is, everybody.
Steam Deck. I like this guy, dude.
How are we going to talk about this though? Are we doing
Toss
the,
him in.
the OLED or are we doing the?
Both.
I mean, I love my
separate.
No,
I love my translucent with the red accents.
Like
I think there are two, but there's only one thing on the chart, so we
Yeah,
can
they
do it
didn't
that
make
way.
it. This,
doing the PSP
this is a
thing.
little dated, so we don't have the OLED.
Well, show me the OLED picture then.
The OLEDs, you got less bezels.
Yeah, I
Takes
feel like
up more of it.
I think we know this deck
definitely is a
well, we're
game
fine.
changer.
Yeah, this is probably going to be like, I mean, this is high for me, but nothing that was going to kind of, the internet's not going to be talking about it. It's like they were about my Bloodborne PC mod, Tim, in that one
there we
article.
go.
I
I
would
love
put
this.
this.
You
almost cried.
I would put this like B.
Yeah,
maybe
I agree.
A.
I think it's a B. I have issues with this. I don't like the D-pad. I do think it is too heavy, even with the OLED version. It is not a perfect console, but I like most of it. I love the back paddles. I love the touchpad. It has so much functionality, and if we're talking about that, yeah, I think it's B.
I want to like ride for it. I want to say A, but I can't ignore when they first revealed this, how we were all like, those buttons are falling off of that thing, right? And I think there's been a level of, just getting used to it, right? I look at the Steam Deck, I don't notice it anymore after actually using it for years now. But yeah, like the button placement does kind of look weird when you're looking at it for the first time. The thing that I still do like about it is that, it reminds me of like watching a commercial about like, American engineering, talking about like, Ford Auto. I'm looking at this and I'm like, this is a machine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is a fucking pickup truck
Steam machine.
of a console. It is a steam machine, right? And like, I like it. I feel it. I pick it up and I'm like, this is powerful right here. I'm playing with power. I'm saying B.
I still hate where the face buttons are, and I feel like they had to design the back paddles to make up for where they had to put the face buttons. Also, with I get the touch pads. They always get in the way. I always accidentally press them.
Yep.
I like the touchpads. I use them a lot.
I'd go B with this one.
I love this thing, and I think that design-wise, it gets some things like incredibly right, and then I think it gets some things just really, really, really wrong. I feel like it's very not offensive though, so I would go higher than C for sure.
Yeah. That's where I'm at. Bottom of B.
Bottom of B.
It has so much functionality that I'm like, oh wow, the fact that you fit this all into one console is a miracle. But there's issues with it.
The screen real estate's just amazing.
This goes above the Switch. I can't see a world that doesn't.
No.
Dude,
Absolutely
the bezels,
not.
man.
No shot.
No,
Absolutely
Tim.
100%.
No.
Yeah. Like
I was going to say that this is proof that Switch should be higher than B.
No.
If you moved the face buttons and the D-pad and replaced the touchpads with that and then made the whole thing smaller, maybe. But I think there's too much space there visually, and it serves a function, but it doesn't look awesome. I would leave this where it's at.
I would say
DSi.
top is C, but I'll concede N to B.
There we go. N to B.
For you on this podcast. I know that it's not
Here
on
we
here,
go.
but I just want to say the Logitech G Cloud, A. That's a solid A right there, and we don't have to vote. You know what I mean? I just want to let everyone know, let the world know, Logitech G Cloud is an A.
Do we want to do one more read through before we head out here?
Of course. At S tier, we have the Switch OLED, Game Boy Advance SP, and the PlayStation Vita. Top of A rank, we have Sony PSP, followed by the Nintendo 2DS XL, the Playdate, the 3DS XL, the Game Boy Color, the Switch Lite, the Game Boy Pocket, and the DS Lite. The B tier is DSi XL, Switch, DSi, and Steam Deck. C tier, Neo Geo X, the original Game Boy, Game & Watch 2020, new 3DS XL, 3DS, new 3DS, Game Boy Advance, Neo Geo Pocket Color, PSP Go, Evercade Handhelds, Neo Geo Pocket, and the Game & Watch 1980. D tier, the Game Boy Micro, the Sega Game Gear, the Nintendo DS Original, the Atari Lynx, and the NVIDIA Shield Portable. F tier, we have the Atari Lynx Generation 2, the Sega Nomad, the Nintendo 2DS, Tiger Game.com, Nokia N-Gage, and the Tiger Gizmodo at the
Gizmondo.
at the very final spot there. But before we leave, everybody, we do have a very important thing to settle. Blessing at AOU Jr., what is the greatest looking console of all time?
I have a Google Doc open. It's called Good Looking. I almost fell out my seat just now. It's called Good Looking Consoles, right?
It's famished.
I'm so hungry. I have here listed 4 consoles. The Atari 2600, the Nintendo Wii, the PS1, and the PS2 Slim. It comes down to those 4 for me. I think the best looking game console, Nintendo Wii.
Wow.
That's what I'm going with.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's sleek. It's still you look at it today. It could have been designed yesterday, right? It's still modern
blue
looking.
light.
The blue light. Oh my god. The white design.
I love it.
The GameCube ports. They're hidden, but they can be revealed.
Oh yeah, the compartments are like, even the compartments look cool in that
exactly,
thing.
man.
Yeah, it's the Nintendo Wii for me.
That was a great one.
Got the stuff.
Was that the consensus last time?
We loved the Wii.
Yeah.
Okay,
It was
It was in S tier, but I don't think it was the highest.
It was the
S tier.
highest.
Yeah, it was almost a sleeper hit. I didn't expect it. It was great.
Well, everybody, let us know in the comments below what you think the greatest looking handheld is, what you think the ugliest handheld is, and just what you think about the Atari Lynx. Any version of it. Just links me up in the chat, everybody. But thank you for hanging out with us. After this, we will be doing a gameplay stream that I think is going to be...
It's supposed to be Fallout London.
Yeah.
You're going really long right here.
So we'll
It's a
see.
busy day. Let's see. Let's have a quick conversation about what happens
So
next.
we might be live, we might not. So thank you for hanging out with us. We appreciate you very, very much. Until next time, I love you all. Goodbye.